stop scrolling for a moment, my child, because this message is not random, and you cannot afford to hear it halfway. If you have been carrying the weight of something that nearly broke you, if you have been quietly wondering whether you are about to face the same pain again, then stay with me and listen carefully. I need you to hear every word, because what I am about to speak will draw a line in your spirit, shut a door the enemy thought was still open, and expose what has been trying to circle back into your life. Do not click away. Do not let distraction steal this moment. Stay until the very end, because I am not only comforting you, I am warning you, protecting you, and calling you into a future that will not look like your past. If this word is reaching your heart already, then you need to keep listening, because what comes next will change everything. My child, come closer and let me speak to the place in you that still grows quiet whenever life starts to feel familiar in the wrong way. I know there is a part of you that has learned to notice patterns before they fully form. I know how quickly your heart can become alert when something in your present begins to resemble what once wounded you. You may look calm to others, but inside, your spirit sometimes braces itself before your mind can even explain why. That is because you remember what it felt like to trust and then watch everything shift beneath your feet. You remember how quickly peace turned into confusion, how safety became uncertainty, and how what once felt secure suddenly became the source of your deepest ache. I have watched you carry that memory, not just in your thoughts, but in your body, in your reactions, in the way you hesitate before opening up again. I have seen how you learned to keep part of yourself guarded, how you started preparing for disappointment before joy had a chance to fully settle in. And I do not speak to you about that with criticism. I speak to you with tenderness, because I know exactly why you became this careful. You did not choose fear because you wanted distance from love. You learned caution because pain taught you that what feels close can still leave. But listen to me now, and do not rush past this. What happened before does not have the authority to write what happens next. The pain that once found an open door in your life does not get to return and move through you the same way again. I am not saying this because your past was small or because your wounds were shallow. I am saying this because while you were trying to survive what nearly broke you, I was already doing work in you that you could not see. Even in your weakest moments, I was strengthening places inside you that had never been strengthened before. I was teaching your spirit what your emotions could not yet understand. I was showing you what to notice. I was uncovering where your heart had been too exposed, where your peace had been too dependent on people staying the same, where your identity had become too tied to things that were never stable enough to carry it. I was not absent in your confusion. I was not watching from a distance while you struggled to breathe through it. I was right there, holding together parts of you that you thought had already collapsed. And now I need you to hear something that may feel hard to trust at first, but I want you to let it sit in your soul. You are not as vulnerable as you were back then. You are not as unaware as you were back then. You are not as defenseless as you were back then. I know you asked me not to use repeated structures, so hear this in the plainness of a father's voice. You have changed, my child, even if you still feel tender. The version of you that went through that storm did not walk away empty-handed. You came out carrying wisdom, discernment, and a deeper ability to sense when peace is beginning to leave. That matters. I know sometimes you wish you could just feel free without having to think so much, without scanning the atmosphere of every situation, without wondering whether history is about to repeat itself in a new form. I know you are tired of feeling like your heart has to be careful, but I want you to understand that your caution is not the end of your story. It is simply evidence that your soul remembers what it cannot afford to ignore. And where memory once made you feel trapped, I am now turning it into discernment. I am teaching you how to notice without panicking, how to pause without spiraling, how to feel a warning without assuming disaster has already begun. That is part of how I protect you now. I am not asking you to become naive again. I am not asking you to trust recklessly just to prove you are healed. I am not asking you to act untouched when I know you still carried tenderness in certain places. What I am telling you is that what once entered your life and shook everything loose will not find the same access this time. I am standing where you cannot see me. I am interrupting things before they fully form. I am making certain patterns feel uncomfortable sooner than they used to. I am stirring something inside you when peace begins to slip, not to make you anxious, but to help you recognize what no longer belongs near your heart. There are things you use to excuse that you will no longer be able to ignore. There are places you used to stay too long that you will now feel led to leave earlier. There are voices you once believed that now sound different because I have been teaching you how truth feels. So when I tell you I will not let you go through that again, I do not mean life will never challenge you. I do not mean you will never feel the ache of uncertainty or the discomfort of being stretched. I mean that the same kind of destruction does not get free access to the same unguarded places anymore. I am guarding what I am healing. I am watching what tries to circle back around. I am remembering what nearly buried you, even when you are trying to move forward and not think about it. And because I remember, I am not careless with your heart. There were nights, my child, when you thought you had already lost too much to ever feel safe again. You tried to move forward, but part of you kept living with one eye turned backward, listening for the sound of the same pain returning. Sometimes it happened in silence. Sometimes it came in the middle of an ordinary moment, when nothing was visibly wrong, but something inside you suddenly tightened because a tone, a delay, a shift in someone's behavior, or a familiar kind of distance made your heart remember. I know how quickly old fear can rise when the present brushes against the shape of an old wound. I know how exhausting it is to feel like your spirit reacts before your thoughts can catch up. And I want you to know I have never been frustrated with that part of you. I have never looked at your guardedness and called it weakness. I have never looked at your hesitation and decided you were failing. I know the history behind your caution. I know what it cost you to survive the last time. I know how deeply it affected the way you see people, the way you interpret silence, the way you prepare yourself when something starts to matter. I know there are moments when you want to fully trust, fully rest, fully believe the good thing in front of you can stay. But the memory of what happened before stands beside you like a shadow, whispering that you have seen this before and it did not end well. My child, that shadow does not get to speak louder than my voice. It may still be present at times, but it is not your guide. I am your guide now, and I am teaching you the difference between discernment and dread. Dread assumes loss before there is evidence. Discernment senses when peace is being disturbed and brings it to me. Dread makes you close up in fear. Discernment teaches you how to stay open to me while becoming wiser about what enters your life. That is the path I am walking with you now. I am not healing you by forcing you back into situations that resemble the wound just to see if you can endure them better. I am healing you by showing you that your peace matters, that your boundaries matter, that your spirit deserves to be listened to, and that I can be trusted before things fall apart, not only after. That is one of the deepest changes I am making in you. For so long, you have known me as the one who met you with the aftermath, the one who comforted you after the damage, the one who held you when the tears finally came. And I have gladly been that for you because I love you without condition. But I want you to know me in a new way now. I want you to know me as the one who warns, the one who redirects, the one who makes you uneasy before the wrong door opens too wide, the one who slows something down when your emotions want to rush ahead, the one who removes what you thought you wanted because I know what it would cost you later. Some of the things you have mourned were actually rescues. Some of the delays you felt frustrated by were my mercy stepping in before a pattern had time to repeat. Some of the people who lost access to you did not leave because you were hard to love. They left because what they carried was not allowed to keep reaching your deeper places. I know that truth can still sting, especially when your heart had hope. But I need you to see that I have not been passive in your life. I have been actively protecting you, even in ways that felt confusing at first. There are cycles that wanted to come back. There were old dynamics that tried to re-enter wearing new names and new faces. There were familiar wounds trying to disguise themselves as opportunities, as second chances, as something that looked almost safe enough. But I saw what you could not yet see, and I stepped in. That is why I need you to stop interpreting every interruption as rejection. Sometimes what you call loss is me refusing to let history have another turn with your heart. And now, as you move into what comes next, I want you to rest in something deeper than your own ability to predict outcomes. I do not need you to become an expert at reading every sign. I do not need you to become so guarded that you never let anything beautiful near you again. I need you to walk with me closely enough that when peace shifts, you notice, and when my spirit nudges you, you listen. I need you to bring me your uncertainty early, not only when everything is already unraveling. I need you to trust that I remember what almost destroyed you, and because I remember, I am not sending you back into the same fire uncovered. You may still face moments that stretch you. You may still feel vulnerable as you learn to trust again. But the next chapter will not be built on the same weak foundation. I'm laying something stronger beneath you now. I am restoring your inner sense of safety, not through control, but through closeness with me. And the more you learn to stay near my voice, the more you will realize something holy has changed. What once would have trapped you now gets your attention sooner. What once would have taken months to understand now becomes clear much earlier. What once would have broken your peace completely will no longer be allowed to settle in the same way. That is not because you have become hard. It is because I have become more deeply trusted in the places where you used to feel alone. So breathe, my child. You do not have to keep living as though the worst thing is always waiting just around the corner. You do not have to brace yourself every time something begins to matter. I am with you now in a way you are still learning to recognize. And I am telling you plainly, with the gentleness of a father who has watched every tear and counted every sleepless night, I will not let you go through that again the way you did before. My child, there is a reason you feel things now that you used to overlook, and I need you to stop calling that anxiety every time your spirit notices something before your mind has words for it. Sit with me for a moment and let me say this plainly, because you need the clarity of my voice more than the noise of your fear right now. I have been teaching you discernment. I have been training your inner life to recognize what once slipped past you. I have been sharpening your awareness in places where you used to move too quickly, trust too easily, explain away too much, or stay too long. You did not always have this kind of sensitivity. There was a time when you could sit in the middle of a draining atmosphere and call it normal. There was a time when you could ignore the subtle pressure in your spirit because you wanted the relationship, the opportunity, the validation, the comfort, or the future you had imagined badly enough to keep going. There was a time when you would silence what felt wrong because the cost of acknowledging it seemed higher than the cost of staying. But you are not that version of yourself anymore, and I want you to stop grieving the loss of your old ease as though it was always wisdom. Some of what you miss was not peace. Some of what you miss was simply unawareness. Some of what felt easier before was actually your inability to recognize danger early enough. I know that can be hard to hear, because part of you wants to go back to the days when you trusted faster, relaxed sooner, and did not have to read the room so carefully. But I am not leading you backward into blind comfort. I am leading you forward into clear-sighted peace. There is a difference. Blind comfort feels easy in the beginning and costly later. Clear-sighted peace sometimes asks you to pause, to pray, to ask harder questions, to walk slower, to notice what your emotions would rather ignore. That is not punishment. That is protection. That is the fruit of what I have been teaching you. So when you feel that subtle check in your spirit, do not immediately shame yourself. Do not say, "I am overthinking again," before you have even brought it to me. Do not dismiss your inner discomfort just because it does not come with grammatic evidence. Learn to sit with it. Learn to notice it. Learn to ask me about it. Discernment is rarely loud at first. It is often a quiet nudge, a slight unrest, a pressure that makes peace harder to hold, a strange heaviness that follows a conversation, a subtle resistance when your emotions are trying to run ahead. That is why I need you to become still enough to hear what your spirit is already sensing. The world will tell you to ignore that. It will tell you to keep moving, keep pleasing, keep proving, keep pushing forward, keep calling discomfort normal because stopping would be inconvenient. But I am calling you to something holier than convenience. I am calling you to attention. I am calling you to awareness. I am calling you to live with me in a way that allows your inner life to become a place of guidance instead of confusion. Come into that with me. Slow down. Pay attention. Ask before you attach. Ask before you commit. Ask before you label something a blessing simply because it arrived. I know how much you have wanted certain things, but desire alone is not discernment. Urgency is not confirmation. Intensity is not peace. And I am teaching you that because I love you. I do not want you learning the same lesson through the same kind of heartbreak again. So hear this as both invitation and instruction. Stop overriding what your spirit is noticing. Bring it to me before you explain it away. Sit with me before you make excuses for it. Let me teach you what it means to recognize what you once missed. This is part of how I keep you from walking into the same pain wearing a different name. You have asked me before, my beloved, why certain things feel off now when they might not have bothered you in the past. You have wondered why you can no longer enjoy certain spaces the way you used to, why some conversations leave you drained in ways you did not expect, why certain people create a heaviness in you even when nothing dramatic has happened, why some opportunities that should feel exciting somehow feel pressured instead of peaceful. And because you have not fully understood what I am doing, you have sometimes blamed yourself. You have called yourself too sensitive. You have told yourself you are becoming difficult. You have wondered if you are making problems where none exist. But I want you to stop assuming that every internal signal is dysfunction. Sometimes it is discernment. Sometimes it is the fruit of what I have been building in you. Sometimes it is your spirit noticing what your old self would have ignored until the cost became obvious. That matters, my child. Do not despise that process. Do not insult the very sensitivity I have been sanctifying. There is a difference between being ruled by fear and being led by discernment. Fear reacts to possibility. Discernment responds to reality, even when the reality is subtle. Fear often pushes you into panic, suspicion, and emotional chaos. Discernment usually invites you into pause, prayer, and deeper attention. That is one of the ways you can tell the difference. When something rises in you, do not rush to one extreme or the other. Do not ignore it, and do not let it immediately become a full narrative in your mind. Instead, turn toward me. Ask, Lord, is this fear or is this wisdom? Then stay long enough to listen. Let me sort it. Let me help you. This is not something you have to master overnight. It is a relationship. It is a training. It is a way of walking with me that becomes clearer over time. And the more you practice it, the more you will begin to notice the patterns. You will start to recognize the difference between old wounds being touched and new warnings being given. You will learn how my peace feels when something is aligned, and how your spirit feels when something is beginning to move out of alignment. You will learn how to notice without spiraling. You will learn how to leave sooner, without needing everything to collapse first. You will learn how to ask better questions before your heart is already entangled. This is sacred maturity, my child. It may not look dramatic from the outside, but it will save you from so much unnecessary sorrow. That is why I need you to stop romanticizing the old version of yourself that didn't overthink. Sometimes what you call simplicity was actually a lack of spiritual attention. Sometimes what you call innocence was actually inexperience mixed with hope. And while hope is beautiful, hope without discernment can keep you in places that slowly steal your peace. I'm not taking away your hope. I am teaching your hope where to root itself. I am not trying to make you suspicious of every person, every door, every possibility. I am trying to teach you how to stay close enough to me that when something is wrong, you do not need a disaster to validate the signal. That is growth. That is mercy. That is one of the quiet miracles I have been performing in you. So the next time you feel the need to minimize what you are sensing, stop. Pause right there. Do not override it. Do not explain it away because the evidence feels too small. Do not silence it just because acknowledging it might cost you the outcome you wanted. Bring it to me. Ask me what I see. Ask me what I know. Ask me what your soul is noticing. And then trust that I am capable of teaching you. I have not left you to figure this out alone. I have been training you all along. The fact that you are noticing what you once missed is not proof that you are broken. It is often proof that you are growing. There is another layer to this, my child, and it may be one of the most important things I say to you in this season. Discernment is not only about danger. It is also about alignment. If you only think discernment exists to help you avoid pain, you will miss half of what I am doing. Yes, I use it to warn you. Yes, I use it to slow you down. Yes, I use it to help you recognize what drains, deceives, or disrupts your peace. But I also use it to teach you where life is flowing, where grace is resting, where truth feels steady, where peace remains even when things are stretching you. Discernment is not meant to turn you into someone who only scans for threats. It is meant to help you recognize where my hand is and where it is not. That means you must let it become more than suspicion management. Let it become a way of walking. Let it become a way of listening. Let it become a practice of paying attention to what happens in your inner world when you move toward something, stay in something, or step away from something. Notice what strengthens you. Notice what empties you. Notice where clarity increases. Notice where confusion multiplies. Notice where you feel covered even in uncertainty. Notice where you feel constantly pressed, rushed, or diminished. These are not small things. These are the languages your soul is learning to read. And I want you to become a student of that language with me. Do not wait for crisis. Practice in the ordinary. Pay attention in simple conversations. Notice your spirit after a phone call. Notice what happens in you when you enter certain rooms. Notice how your peace responds when you think about a decision. Bring those things to me. Let them become prayer. Let them become conversation. Let them become part of how you live, not just how you recover. This is how discernment stops being a dramatic emergency tool and becomes a steady guide. This is how you stop living from reaction and begin living from awareness. And awareness, when surrendered to me, becomes one of the strongest forms of protection you can carry. I also want you to be careful not to use discernment as a mask for avoidance. This is where honesty matters. Not every discomfort means danger. Sometimes discomfort is just growth. Sometimes the very thing I am leading you into will stretch you, confront you, or require vulnerability that your old wounds would rather avoid. That is why you need me in the process. You cannot simply trust every uneasy feeling without asking me what it means. Some uneasiness is warning. Some uneasiness is healing. Some uneasiness is the discomfort of leaving familiar dysfunction. Some uneasiness is the stretching that comes with stepping into healthier patterns. This is why relationship with me matters more than formulas. I am not giving you a rigid system. I am inviting you into deeper companionship. I want you to ask me often. I want you to bring me your inner signals. I want you to let me train your discernment through conversation, not fear. This is where your freedom grows. This is where your trust in me becomes more than a concept. This is where you stop living at the mercy of whatever your emotions say in the moment and begin living from a steadier place, one where your spirit can sense, your mind can pause, your heart can listen, and my voice can lead. So hear me now and receive this deeply. I have been teaching you how to discern what you once missed because I love you too much to let you keep learning everything through pain. I am training your soul so that peace becomes more recognizable than chaos, truth becomes more valuable than fantasy, and my presence becomes more trusted than your old patterns. Stay in that process. Do not rush it. Do not belittle it. Do not treat it like a flaw. It is a give. It is a guardrail. It is part of how I keep you. Let it grow. Let it mature. And every time you notice what the old version of you would have ignored, do not panic. Whisper to me, Lord, teach me what I am sensing. Then listen. I will. My child, as I have been sharpening your discernment and teaching you to see what you once overlooked, I am also inviting you to become a vessel through which others will see. There are souls still walking in confusion, still calling warning signs normal, still missing the quiet nudges I am sending, and your act of giving becomes light in their darkness. When you sow into this work, you are not giving to a channel, you are planting seeds into hearts I am preparing for awakening. Did I not say, those who sow in tears shall reap in joy? I am breathing on every seed you release, multiplying it into revelation, into healing, into rescue for someone who feels lost tonight. If your spirit hath been stirred, it is because I am drawing you into partnership with me. Support this mission through Super Thanks, join as a member, or give through PayPal, the link I have placed in the description. As you release, I will increase. As you pour, I will refill. As you give, I will guard what concerns you. Do not delay this moment. Step into obedience and give now. My child, I want you to stay close to my voice here because this is where your heart needs both comfort and courage. There are patterns that have tried to circle your life like vultures, waiting for the right moment to land again. There are old cycles that know your weak places, old wounds that remember the shape of your fear, old lies that whisper with familiar tones because they know what once worked against you. I know you have felt it before. Sometimes it begins so subtly that you almost miss it. A certain kind of pressure, a certain kind of emotional confusion, a certain kind of urgency that feels exciting at first but leaves your peace unsettled. Sometimes it arrives through a person who seems new but carries the same emotional atmosphere as someone who once hurt you. Sometimes it comes through an opportunity that looks promising but asks you to ignore the same red flags you once dismissed. Sometimes it comes through your own thoughts, your own habits, your own tendency to return to what is familiar simply because familiar pain can feel safer than unfamiliar peace. I know all of that, my beloved. I know how cycles work. I know how the enemy studies what once made you vulnerable and then tries to repackage it with a cleaner face, a softer voice, a more convincing disguise. But I need you to hear me now with the seriousness of a father who is standing guard over what he has been healing. I am not going to let the same thing take root in you the same way again. That does not mean you will never face anything difficult. That does not mean life will suddenly become easy, simple, or free from challenge. It means I am actively interrupting what tries to repeat itself before it becomes another deep wound. It means I am no longer allowing certain things to pass unnoticed the way they once did. It means the places where you used to be blind, rushed, overly hopeful, or emotionally overexposed are now under my attention in a different way. I have been setting up quiet boundaries around your life that you do not always recognize in the moment. I have been placing resistance where you expected ease. I have been causing friction where you wanted quick access. I have been allowing some things to stall, shift, or fall apart before they could get deep enough to damage you the way they would have before. And I know you have not always liked that. I know there were times when you called it delay, rejection, confusion, or disappointment. I know there were moments when you asked me why something that looked so good suddenly became difficult, why something that seemed to be opening started closing, why someone who came close suddenly drifted, why your own spirit became unsettled right when you wanted to move forward. But my child, I need you to stop assuming that every interruption is loss. Some interruptions are rescue. Some resistance is protection. Some delays are the sound of my mercy pressing against what your emotions still want but your spirit cannot afford. Let that settle in you. Do not rush past it. You have asked me before why certain things seem to break apart right when you start hoping again. Sometimes the answer is not punishment. Sometimes the answer is that I saw the old pattern trying to put on new clothes, and I refused to let it get close enough to do what it did before. I know how much it cost you last time. I know what it took to pull you through the aftermath. I know what your mind, your body, your emotions, and your spirit had to endure just to survive. Do you really think I would stand by casually and let the same trap settle in without speaking, nudging, warning, or stepping in? No, my child. I am too near. I am too invested. I am too aware of what nearly buried you. So hear this as both comfort and command. Stop fighting every interruption as if it is your enemy. Pause before you label it failure. Bring it to me before you mourn it. Ask me, Lord, is this resistance a warning? Is this delay a covering? Is this discomfort a sign that something familiar is trying to return? Then stay quiet long enough to listen. I want you to learn how to recognize my interruptions as part of my love. I want you to see that when I make something harder to access, it is not always because I am withholding good. Sometimes I am shielding you from what looked good but carried old poison. Sometimes I am shutting a subtle trap before it becomes a full collapse. Sometimes I am protecting your peace from patterns you are only just beginning to identify. Trust that. Lean into that. Let my interruptions become holy to you. They are not random. They are not careless. They are precise. They are protective. They are personal. There have been moments, my child, when you felt an odd uneasiness and could not explain it. Everything on the surface looked acceptable, maybe even attractive, but something deeper in you was not resting. You tried to reason with yourself. You told yourself you were being too cautious, too sensitive, too affected by the past. You considered pushing through because the opportunity seemed right, the connection seemed meaningful, or the possibility of finally receiving what you had been waiting for felt too precious to risk. But underneath all of that, there was a check in your spirit. There was a subtle signal. There was a gentle resistance that did not scream, but it did not leave either. My child, that was often me. That was not always fear. That was not always overthinking. That was not always you being broken. Many times, that was my hand interrupting the beginning of something before it had the chance to become another familiar wound. This is why I need you to stop making quick peace with your own confusion. When peace begins to leave, do not rush to replace it with explanations. When your spirit becomes unsettled, do not instantly override it with your desire for a certain outcome. When a situation starts asking you to silence what you know in order to keep what you want, that is a moment to stop, breathe, and turn toward me. I want more partnership from you here. I want more conversation before commitment. I want more prayer before pursuit. I want more stillness before attachment. Invite me sooner. Ask me earlier. Let me into the beginning of things instead of only calling for me once the damage has started. This is one of the ways I keep cycles from repeating. I do not only heal you after the fact. I guide you before the collapse. I warn you before the wound. I slow you down before the entanglement. But if you keep treating every internal signal like an inconvenience, you will keep missing the very help you asked me to give. So change that with me now. Make a new agreement with me. Say in your spirit, Lord, if you interrupt it, I will not automatically resist it. If you slow it down, I will not instantly call it loss. If you remove something quickly, I will not assume you are punishing me. I will ask. I will wait. I will listen. That posture will save you more pain than you realize. It will not make life effortless, but it will make you more aligned with the way I protect you. And I need you to understand something else too. My interruptions are not always external. Sometimes I interrupt what tries to repeat itself by exposing the pattern inside you before it can lead you back into the same kind of pain. Sometimes I let you feel the familiar pull toward what drains you so you can finally see it clearly. Sometimes I bring an old temptation to the surface, not to shame you, but to reveal how it works. Sometimes I allow you to notice how quickly you want to over-explain someone's behavior, how quickly you want to ignore the loss of peace, how quickly you want to stay where you feel emotionally hungry because you are afraid to walk away empty-handed. Those moments are holy opportunities. Do not waste them. When the old pattern rises in you, do not collapse into shame. Bring it to me immediately. Let me show you what it is touching. Let me reveal what it is feeding on. Let me teach you how to interrupt it with me before it becomes a cycle again. This is not about becoming suspicious of every good thing. It is about becoming honest enough to recognize when something familiar is trying to reclaim territory I have been restoring. That is why I want you to pay attention not just to people and opportunities, but to your own responses. Notice when you feel pressure to rush. Notice when you feel yourself minimizing what bothers you. Notice when you are tempted to call chaos chemistry, or call confusion just part of it, or call emotional depletion normal. Those are places where old patterns often try to sneak back in. You'll not welcome them just because they are familiar. Familiar does not mean safe. Familiar does not mean from me. Familiar sometimes only means you have survived it before. I'm teaching you a better standard now. I am teaching you to ask, does this carry peace? Does this allow clarity? Does this deepen trust in me, or does it pull me away from my center? Those are the questions that keep cycles from quietly settling back into your life. And my precious child, let me take you one step deeper, because I do not want you only to survive interruptions. I want you to recognize them as sacred. The old you often saw disruption as something to fear because you were trying to build your safety on predictability. If things changed suddenly, if doors closed unexpectedly, If people shifted without warning, if momentum was lost, it felt like danger. It felt like the beginning of pain. It felt like proof that something was wrong with you or that life was once again turning against you. But I am writing that interpretation. I am teaching you that some of the most loving things I do in your life look like disruption before they look like protection. Some of the holiest moments in your story will not feel peaceful at first. They may feel like disappointment, confusion, or abrupt endings. Yet later, when the fog lifts and the truth becomes visible, you will see that what felt like an unwanted interruption was actually my hand standing between you and another wound. This is why I need you to stop measuring my goodness only by how smooth a path feels. Smooth is not always safe. Easy is not always aligned. Fast is not always favor. Sometimes the very thing you call open is only open because you are still emotionally hungry enough to ignore what your spirit already knows. I say that with love, not judgment. I know how longing can blur vision. I know how hope can make you vulnerable to what resembles an answer. That is why my interruptions matter so much. They cut through the fog. They stop momentum long enough for truth to surface. They create pause where you would have rushed. They make you uncomfortable where you would have settled. They expose the cost of something before you pay it in full. That is mercy, my child. That is what I have been doing for you more often than you realize. So receive this now. Receive it deeply. The next time something begins to stall, the next time a connection suddenly feels strange, the next time your peace starts slipping even though the situation looks good on paper, the next time your plans begin to unravel in ways you did not expect, do not immediately assume the worst. Do not instantly grieve what may actually be saving you. Stop. Invite me in. Ask me what is being interrupted and why. Ask me whether I am exposing an old pattern before it can repeat. Ask me whether what feels like loss is actually a shield. And wait. Let me answer through peace, through clarity, through the deep knowing that settles when you stop arguing with what your spirit is already sensing. And if I tell you to walk away, walk away. If I tell you to slow down, slow down. If I tell you to release it, release it. If I tell you to let the door close, let it close. Do not negotiate with the thing I am interrupting. Do not romanticize the pattern I am exposing. Do not call it maybe this time if your spirit is already tired before it has even begun. Listen to me. Stay with me. Trust me enough to let my interruptions become part of your healing. Because this time, my child, I am not leaving you to discover the trap only after it has tightened around your heart. I am interrupting what tries to repeat itself. I am standing in the gap. I am guarding what I have restored. And if you will walk with me in this, if you will pause, ask, listen, and obey, you will begin to see that what once would have become another chapter of sorrow now stops much sooner. That is not because life is easy. It is because you are no longer alone, unaware, and unguarded in the places that once left you vulnerable. I am here. I am alert. I am involved. And I will interrupt what tries to return. My child, I need you to come closer for this part, because what I am doing in you now is deeper than relief, deeper than temporary calm, deeper than simply removing what hurts. I am rebuilding your sense of safety from the inside. And I know that may not sound dramatic at first, but if you understood how much of your life has quietly been shaped by inner insecurity, by learned vigilance, by the need to predict, manage, or control what might happen next, you would realize how holy this work truly is. You have spent more time than you realize trying to feel safe by watching everything. You have tried to feel safe by reading people carefully, by anticipating shifts, by preparing for disappointment before it arrives, by staying emotionally alert so nothing can catch you off guard again. I understand why. I know exactly where that came from. I know what it felt like when something once changed without warning. I know how quickly your trust was shaken. I know how deeply your peace was tied to circumstances staying stable, to people staying consistent, to doors staying open, to affection staying clear, to outcomes moving in the direction you hoped. When those things shifted, your inner world learned a hard lesson. If I do not stay watchful, I could be hurt again. That lesson made sense in the aftermath of pain. But I need you to hear me now. Constant watchfulness is not the same as true safety. It may feel protective, but it is exhausting. It may make you feel prepared, but it keeps your body braced and your spirit restless. It may help you notice certain dangers, but it also makes it hard for peace to settle deeply in you. I am not condemning you for that. I am simply telling you that I want more for you than a life built on internal alarms. I want to teach your soul what it feels like to be safe because you are held, not because you are hyper-aware. I want to teach your body what it feels like to soften without becoming careless. I want to teach your heart that it does not need to predict every possible pain in order to survive. That is why I am working from the inside. If I only changed your outer circumstances, but left your inner world ruled by old fear, you would still struggle to receive peace even in a peaceful season. You would still look for the crack in the wall. You would still brace when things go quiet. You would still question good things because you would be waiting for the hidden cost. So I am doing something slower and far more sacred. I am rebuilding the place in you where safety is defined. I am shifting your sense of security away from perfect outcomes and into my steady presence. That is not a small change, my child. That is foundational. It means you will begin to live differently. It means your first instinct will slowly stop being panic. It means, when uncertainty appears, you will not automatically collapse into old assumptions. It means when something is delayed, you will not instantly call it danger. It means when someone shifts, you will feel it. Yes, but you will not let their instability rewrite your worth. It means when life feels unclear, you will still have a place inside where my peace can meet you. That is what I am building. So let me invite you into this work with me. Stop trying to create safety by controlling everything. Stop measuring your peace by whether every person behaves exactly right. Stop assuming that if your heart feels unsettled, the answer is to tighten your grip. Come here instead. Sit with me. Let me teach your nervous system a new language. Let me teach your thoughts a new pattern. Let me teach your spirit that safety is not found in knowing every outcome before it happens. Safety is found in knowing who is with you when outcomes are still unknown. That is the kind of safety that lasts. That is the kind of safety that remains when circumstances shift. That is the kind of safety the world cannot manufacture for you. And I want you to begin receiving it now. Not all at once. Not as a performance. But as a daily surrender. When you feel yourself scanning, stop. When you feel yourself trying to read 10 steps ahead, breathe. When you feel the urge to overanalyze every silence, pause. Turn toward me. Whisper, Lord, teach me how to be safe in you right now. Then stay there. Do not rush away from that moment. Let me meet you in it. Let me begin to rebuild what fear hath been governing for too long. There are parts of you, my beloved, that still believe safety comes from certainty. That belief runs deeper than you may realize. It is why unanswered messages can sometimes stir more in you than they should. It is why delays can feel heavier than they look. It is why a subtle shift in tone, distance, or energy can awaken old concern before anything concrete has even happened. Your heart learned to associate uncertainty with threat because uncertainty once became the doorway to pain. That is understandable. It makes sense. But I need you to let me gently challenge it now. Uncertainty is not always danger. Sometimes uncertainty is simply the space where trust grows. Sometimes it is the room where your old patterns get exposed so I can heal them. Sometimes it is the place where you discover whether your peace is still chained to outcomes or whether it is beginning to root itself in me. I know that kind of growth can feel uncomfortable. It can feel like being stretched in the very places where you once begged for relief. But I am not stretching you to break you. I am stretching you so your inner world can hold more peace than it could before. Think of it this way, my child. If your soul has been living like a house built around alarm systems, then every small sound feels urgent. Every shadow feels suspicious. Every pause feels loaded. But I am not merely adding better alarms. I am rebuilding the structure itself. I am strengthening the walls. I am repairing the foundation. I am sealing the places where old fear has been slipping in and making itself at home. That is why I need you to stop fighting every moment of internal discomfort as though it means something is going wrong. Sometimes what you are feeling is not a sign of collapse. Sometimes it is the sensation of reconstruction. Sometimes the unease is the old wiring being challenged. Sometimes the discomfort is what it feels like when a soul that has lived in survival mode begins learning how to rest. Rest can feel unfamiliar when you have been braced for too long. Peace can feel suspicious when chaos hath been your normal. Stability can feel strange when your system is used to scanning for cracks. I know that. I am not frustrated by that. I am patient with that. But I do need your cooperation. I need you to stop reaching for old coping patterns every time you feel uncertain. Do not immediately overanalyze. Do not immediately assume the worst. Do not immediately chase reassurance from the wrong places. Come to me first. Make that your new rhythm. When uncertainty rises, do not fill the silence with fear. Fill it with my presence. Sit down if you need to. Step away from the noise if you need to. Put your hand on your chest if it helps you stay present. Then ask me, Lord, what is true right now? That question matters. It interrupts the avalanche of assumptions. It gives me room to ground you in the present instead of letting your mind sprint into imagined futures. Sometimes what is true is simply this. You are safe in this moment, even if you do not yet know the outcome. Sometimes what is true is that your body is remembering an old story, but the present is not the same. Sometimes what is true is that there is a real concern, and I am giving you discernment, not panic. But whatever the answer is, I want you to learn it with me, not with fear as your teacher. Fear is loud. Fear is fast. Fear loves unfinished stories because it rushes to write endings before I have spoken. I am teaching you a different pace. I am teaching you the holy slowness of peace. I am teaching you how to pause before you react, how to breathe before you decide, how to ask before you assume. This is how I rebuild your sense of safety. Not by promising that nothing hard will ever happen again, but by creating in you a steadier place that does not collapse every time life becomes unclear. That is stronger than certainty. That is deeper than reassurance. That is the kind of safety that can survive the unknown because it is rooted in my nearness. And my precious child, I want you to understand that this rebuilding will affect more than your inner calm. It will change how you love, how you wait, how you listen, how you choose, how you walk into new things, and how you respond when old fears try to reintroduce themselves. When your sense of safety begins to root itself in me instead of in perfect circumstances, you stop needing to force what is not flowing just to avoid feeling vulnerable. You stop clinging to people who make you anxious just because their attention temporarily soothes your fear. You stop calling emotional intensity connection simply because it distracts you from emptiness. You stop needing every answer immediately. You stop interpreting every silence as rejection. You stop mistaking urgency for intimacy. Do you see how deep this goes? This is not just about feeling calmer. This is about becoming freer. It is about no longer being easily manipulated by what unsettles you. It is about no longer building decisions around the need to avoid discomfort at all costs. It is about no longer letting your old wound decide what gets access to your life. That is why I say again, with tenderness and firmness, let me do this work in you. Stop rushing toward outer solutions while ignoring the inner rebuilding. Stop asking only for changed circumstances when I am offering transformed capacity. Stop begging me merely to remove what scares you while resisting the slower healing that would make you steadier when fear comes near. I am not merely trying to calm you down for the moment. I am training your whole inner world to live from a different center. That is why some of your progress has felt invisible. It is not because nothing is happening. It is because foundations are being laid beneath the surface. And when foundations are being laid, the most important work is often hidden. So trust the hidden work. Honor the hidden work. Cooperate with the hidden work. Practice with me daily. When your mind begins scanning, return to me. When your body tightens, return to me. When your heart wants certainty more than presence, return to me. When you notice yourself trying to control what is not yours to control, release it and return to me. This is how safety gets rebuilt. This is how peace becomes embodied instead of merely desired. This is how you move from survival into stability. And one more thing, my child, because this matters deeply. The safety I am building in you does not make you passive. It makes you clear. It does not make you careless. It makes you grounded. It does not make you naive. It makes you discerning without being driven by dread. That is what holy safety looks like. It is not the absence of awareness. It is awareness without panic. It is tenderness without collapse. It is openness without recklessness. It is trust without self-abandonment. That is what I am shaping in you now. So come with me into it. Stop expecting instant results. Stop criticizing yourself every time the old alarms go off. Instead, let each moment become an invitation. Let each trigger become training. Let each uncertainty become a place where I teach you again. You are safe because I am with you. Not because everything is explained. Not because every outcome is guaranteed. Not because every person is trustworthy. You are safe because I am near, I am aware, and I am building in you a deeper, steadier, stronger sense of home than fear ever could. Let me finish that work. Stay with me in it. Do not run from the slowness. I am rebuilding your sense of safety from the inside, and when that work matures, you will carry peace into places that once would have made you tremble. My child, as I rebuild your sense of safety from the inside, I am also calling you to help build refuge for others who are still trembling within. There are hearts exhausted from striving, souls braced in fear, lives waiting for the peace I am now teaching you, and your giving becomes a shelter I use to reach them. This is the river I spoke of, flowing from within, bringing life wherever it goes, and when you give, you release that river into places you may never physically stand. I see your willingness, and I declare over you, I will supply all your needs according to my riches in glory. This is not loss, it is alignment with my provision system, where seeds become harvests and obedience becomes overflow. If you feel the pull, it is me inviting you into something eternal. Support through super thanks, step into membership, or give through the PayPal link in the description. I will cover what you release, multiply what you sow, and establish your peace more deeply. Act now. Do not let this moment pass. My child, I need you to stay close to my voice right here. because this is one of the most important things I will say to you in this season. I will not let familiar pain wear a new mask and fool you. I know how subtle this can be. I know how the old wound did not always come back looking like the old wound. If it did, you would recognize it more quickly. If it arrived wearing the exact same face, the exact same words, the exact same pattern, you would step back sooner. But that is not usually how these things work. Pain is often clever when it tries to revisit you. It shows up dressed differently. It uses new language. It offers a new setting, a new name, a new story, a new promise. It can look like another chance, a better opportunity, a more mature person, a more polished version of the thing that once hurt you. It can feel safer at first because the presentation is different. Yet underneath, the emotional atmosphere begins to feel strangely familiar. The same confusion starts creeping in. The same pressure begins building. The same need to override your own peace starts surfacing. The same quiet exhaustion begins settling in. The same feeling that you have to work too hard for clarity, too hard for security, too hard for basic emotional steadiness begins to reappear. My child, that is what I need you to pay attention to. Not only the appearance, but the atmosphere. Not only the words, but the weight they leave in you. Not only what something promises, but what it requires from your peace in order to stay connected to it. This is where so many get trapped again. They look at the surface and ignore the scent. They look at the packaging and ignore the pattern. They tell themselves this is different, simply because the details have changed, even though their spirit is quietly whispering, I know this feeling. That whisper matters. That inner recognition matters. I have been training you to notice it. I have been teaching you that the enemy rarely repeats pain with obvious duplication. He often uses resemblance, not replication. He brings back the same emotional dynamic through a different doorway. He uses what is familiar to your wound, not necessarily what is identical to your memory. That is why I need you to stop making decisions based only on what looks different on the outside. Slow down. Ask deeper questions. Pay attention to how your spirit feels over time. Does peace remain, or does it keep leaking out? Does clarity grow, or does confusion keep multiplying? Do you feel free to be honest, or do you feel pressured to minimize what is bothering you? Do you feel covered, or do you feel like you are constantly compensating? Those questions will protect you. Those questions will help you recognize when familiar pain is trying to return wearing a clear face. So let me say this with tenderness and firmness. Do not be hypnotized by presentation. Do not let polish persuade you. Do not let your hunger for a new beginning blind you to an old pattern. Bring everything to me. Not just the obvious concerns. Bring the subtle atmosphere. Bring the strange uneasiness. Bring the things you cannot fully explain yet. Bring the tension you feel after a conversation. Bring the quiet unrest that lingers when you think about moving forward. Bring the part of you that keeps trying to rationalize what your spirit already knows. Bring all of it. I want to help you discern what is truly new and what is merely familiar pain in a better disguise. And hear this clearly, my child. I am not trying to make you suspicious of every good thing. I am protecting you from the counterfeit. I am not trying to make you cynical. I am teaching you to recognize the difference between a fresh beginning and an old wound with better marketing. There is a difference, and I will help you see it if you will let me. I know, my beloved, that part of why this is difficult is because your heart wants redemption. It wants to believe that what once hurt you might come back in a healthier form. It wants to believe that maybe this time the same kind of connection will finally be safe. The same kind of opportunity will finally be stable. the same kind of promise will finally be fulfilled without the hidden price. And there is nothing wrong with longing for redemption. That longing is not foolish in itself. But if that longing is not surrendered to me, it can make you vulnerable to imitation. It can make you vulnerable to what looks like healing but actually reopens the same wound. That is why I need you to stop assuming that because something resembles a prayer you once prayed, it must automatically be my answer. Not everything that echoes your longing is sent by me. Some things echo your longing because they know how to get your attention. Some things appear at the right emotional moment because your hunger makes them look like rescue. I say that with deep love, because I know how much you have wanted certain things. I know how long you have waited. I know how tempting it can be to call something from me simply because it arrived when you were tired of waiting. But my child, timing alone is not confirmation. Familiarity is not safety. Emotional intensity is not alignment. Relief is not always peace. This is why I keep asking you to slow down. Sit with what you are feeling. Do not crown it too quickly. Do not label it too fast. Let it breathe. Let it reveal itself over time. Let your spirit watch the fruit. Let your peace tell the truth. And while you are watching, be brutally honest with yourself in the most loving way possible. Are you feeling drawn because this is truly healthy, or because it feels like an old ache being temporarily soothed? Are you feeling hope, or are you feeling relief from loneliness, fear, or uncertainty? Are you experiencing peace, or are you experiencing intensity that makes you feel chosen for a moment? These are not hard questions. They are holy questions. They save you from calling repetition redemption. They save you from mistaking a loop for a miracle. I need you to become brave enough to ask them. And when the answers start surfacing, do not run. Do not defend the pattern, just because part of you wants it to be different this time. Listen to what is true. If the same emotional confusion starts forming, do not ignore it. If the same pressure to self-abandon begins rising, do not explain it away. If you start needing to betray your own peace in order to preserve the connection, do not call that love. If you find yourself constantly working for basic clarity, do not call that chemistry. If your spirit keeps shrinking while your emotions keep chasing, stop. Stop right there. That is not the path I want for you. That is not the cost I am asking you to pay. Come back to me. Bring the situation into the light. Ask me what is happening. Ask me whether this is truly new or merely familiar pain with a better costume. Then trust my answer, even if it hurts your expectations. Trust my answer, even if it costs you the fantasy. Trust my answer, even if it means releasing something you wanted to believe in. Because I would rather disappoint your illusion than let your heart be quietly devoured by another cycle. That is love, my child. That is protection. That is the kind of fierce care I am giving you now. And my precious child, let me take you deeper into this, because recognizing familiar pain in a new mask is not only about external things. Sometimes the new mask is your own mindset. Sometimes the same old wound tries to return, not through another person or opportunity, but through the way you interpret what is happening. A healthy delay can feel like old rejection if you let your past narrate it. A normal need for patience can feel like old abandonment if you let memory speak louder than truth. A genuinely safe relationship can feel boring at first because your body once learned to associate emotional instability with significance. A healthy boundary can feel like distance if your old wounds were fed by enmeshment. You see how subtle this is? Sometimes the familiar pain is not just wearing a new mask in the world around you. It is wearing a new mask in the story you tell yourself. That is why I need your surrender at a deeper level than just external discernment. I need you to let me retrain your interpretations. I need you to let me show you when your old wound is trying to label something healthy as dangerous simply because it does not feel familiar. I need you to let me reveal when what feels normal is actually an old pattern in disguise. This is where many of your future breakthroughs will happen. Not just in avoiding obvious harm, but in learning how to receive what is truly good without mislabeling it. That requires patience. That requires honesty. That requires you to stop trusting your first emotional reaction more than you trust my steady voice. And I know that can feel difficult. I know your body has learned certain associations. I know your emotions have certain habits. I know your mind still reaches for old scripts sometimes. But I am here to rewrite them with you. I am not asking you to figure it all out instantly. I am asking you to stay teachable. Stay curious. Stay prayerful. Stay willing to ask, Lord, is this truly danger, or is this simply unfamiliar peace? That question will save you from many wrong turns. It will keep you from rejecting what is healthy simply because it does not feel dramatic. It will keep you from embracing what is harmful simply because it feels familiar. And I want you to practice this with me intentionally. The next time something stirs your emotions strongly, whether it is attraction, excitement, hope, fear, or urgency, pause before you build a future around it. Sit with me. Let the emotion settle enough for truth to surface. Ask me what this is awakening in you. Ask me whether this is aligned, or whether it is merely touching an old hunger. Ask me whether this carries my peace, or whether it only offers temporary relief from something unresolved. Then listen. Watch the fruit. Watch what happens to your clarity over time. Watch whether your peace deepens or drains. Watch whether your honesty grows or shrinks. Watch whether you feel more like yourself in me or less. Those are the signs, my child. Those are the sacred signals. And if something truly is a new mask on old pain, I will show you. I will make it harder to ignore. I will let the atmosphere reveal itself. I will stir the discomfort until you can no longer pretend not to see it. But I need your agreement. I need you to stop romanticizing the familiar. I need you to stop calling every strong pull meant to be. I need you to stop mistaking the old ache for the voice of destiny. Bring me the pull. Bring me the pattern. Bring me the pressure. Bring me the fantasy. Let me sift it with you. Because I am not going to let familiar pain wear a new mask and fool you. Not if you stay close. Not if you listen. Not if you let my peace become your standard instead of your old wound. I am guarding your heart with more precision than you realize. Trust that. Walk with that. And when something looks beautiful but your spirit keeps whispering, I know this feeling, do not silence that whisper. Bring it straight to me. I will tell you what it is. My child, come closer for this, because this reaches into one of the deepest roots beneath so much of your pain. I am removing your need to be chosen by what cannot keep you. I know how much that need has influenced your decisions, your reactions, your attachments, your patience, your over-explanations, and even the way you have sometimes interpreted my silence. There has been a place in you that longed so deeply to be chosen that it sometimes overrode what your spirit already knew. You wanted the confirmation. You wanted the closeness. You wanted the reassurance that you mattered enough, that you were worth staying for, worth pursuing, worth protecting, worth making clear, worth holding with consistency. That longing is not evil, my child. It is deeply human. It is tender. It is understandable. But when that longing is not rooted first in me, it can make you dangerously vulnerable to anything that offers the feeling of being chosen without the substance of being kept. And there is a difference. Some things choose you for a moment, but cannot carry you for a lifetime. Some people choose you in emotion, but not in integrity. Some opportunities choose you in excitement but not in peace. Some doors open to you, but they do not have the structure to hold what they awaken. That is where so much of your heartbreak has lived, not only in not being chosen, but in being chosen by what could not sustain you. And because that pattern cut so deeply, I am dealing with it now at the root. I am not merely comforting you when something unstable lets go. I am retraining the part of you that feels desperate for selection. I am teaching you to stop measuring your worth by who reaches for you, who responds to you, who validates you, who includes you, who desires you, who keeps the door open just long enough to stir your hope. My child, not every hand extended toward you deserves access to your heart. Not every invitation deserves your yes. Not every choosing is a blessing. Some choosing is bait. Some choosing is temporary hunger. Some choosing is flattery without stewardship. Some choosing is only the opening scene of another lesson in instability. I say that with love, because I know how powerful it feels when something or someone finally seems to say, I want you. But I need you to ask a deeper question now. Not only, am I being chosen? Ask, can this actually keep what it is reaching for? Ask, does this carry peace, clarity, integrity, steadiness, and the capacity to hold what it is awakening in me? Ask, will this keep me close to my center in me, or will it slowly pull me into anxiety, confusion, and self-abandonment? These questions matter because I am teaching you that being chosen is not the goal. Being safely held in what is aligned is the goal. And I want the shift to go all the way down into your soul. To stop chasing selection. Stop overvaluing attention. Stop treating access like covenant. Stop letting temporary interest carry the emotional weight of permanent belonging. Bring your hunger to me. Bring your ache to me. Bring your desire to be seen, loved, wanted, and kept to me. Do not hide it. Do not shame it. But do not let it lead you without me either. I want to heal the part of you that still believes being chosen by the wrong thing is better than waiting to be held by the right thing. That belief has cost you enough. Let it go. Lay it down here with me. Let me become the place where your worth settles before any human hand reaches for you. Because when your worth is rooted in me, you stop confusing pursuit with safety. You stop confusing desire with capacity. You stop confusing attention with true covering. That is the freedom I am building in you now. There were times, my beloved, when the ache to be chosen was so strong that it made you tolerate what your spirit would have rejected if you had felt more secure in me. You accepted ambiguity because at least there was interest. You accepted inconsistency because at least there was contact. You accepted mixed signals because part of you feared losing even the little bit of validation being offered. You let doors stay half open because a half-open door still felt better than silence. You let certain people, patterns, or possibilities keep emotional access to you long after they had proven they could not carry your peace responsibly. I know how that happened. I know it was not because you wanted chaos. It was because some part of you was starving for confirmation. And when you are starving, crumbs can feel like a feast if you do not know how deeply you are loved. That is why I am dealing with this so directly. I do not want you living on crumbs anymore. I do not want you calling fragments enough because you are afraid of emptiness. I do not want you staying emotionally available to what keeps you uncertain simply because uncertainty still contains occasional moments of feeling wanted. That is not the life I have for you. That is not the standard I am writing into your future. So hear me, and receive this as both comfort and command. Stop letting the need to be chosen overrule the need to be safe. Stop lowering your discernment because something or someone made you feel seen for a moment. Stop turning small signs of interest into large stories of destiny. Pause. Slow down. bring the feeling to me before you build a future around it. The next time you feel that rush of being noticed, wanted, pursued, included, or emotionally drawn in, do not let the rush decide. Sit with me first. Ask, Lord, what is this actually awakening in me? Ask, am I responding from wholeness or from hunger? Ask, is this truly aligned, or is this simply touching an old ache that wants relief? Those are holy questions. They will save you. They will keep you from giving away your peace in exchange for temporary validation. And I need you to let me heal the deeper belief beneath all of this. The belief that if someone or something chooses you, it proves your value. My child, your value is never waiting to be established by another person's consistency, desire, clarity, or capacity. Your value is not up for vote. Your worth is not determined by who stays, who leaves, who responds, who delays, who hesitates, or who mishandles what was precious in you. You were already precious before anyone recognized it. You were already worth protecting before anyone knew how. You were already deeply wanted by me before the world ever gave you mixed signals. Let that go deeper. Let it wreck you. Because if that truth does not settle in you, you will keep unconsciously trying to prove your worth by being chosen, and that will make you vulnerable to whatever offers the feeling without the fruit. I am not trying to take love away from you. I am not trying to make you detached from desire. I am making your desire cleaner. I am teaching your heart to stop begging unstable things to confirm what I have already spoken. I am teaching you to stop waiting for inconsistent hands to tell you whether you matter. I am teaching you to stop staying where your peace is draining simply because part of you is still hoping that choosing will become secure if you are patient enough. And oh, my child, let me end that cycle. Let me satisfy the ache at the root. Let me anchor your worth so deeply in my love that what once would have intoxicated you now gets weighed more carefully. Let me make you so secure in my choosing that temporary attention loses its power to confuse you. And my precious child, when this root begins to heal, you will notice something remarkable. You will stop feeling frantic around what is uncertain. You will stop trying to earn clarity from those who prefer vagueness. You will stop feeling compelled to prove your value to people who cannot even steward their own integrity well. You will stop chasing what cannot keep you because you will no longer need it to tell you who you are. That is the freedom I am bringing you into. It is not coldness. It is not pride. It is not emotional withdrawal. It is settledness. It is the quiet strength of someone who knows that being wanted is not enough if peace is absent, that being pursued is not enough if truth is inconsistent, that being chosen is not enough if the thing choosing you cannot carry what it awakens. That is maturity. That is holy freedom. And I want you to practice living from that freedom now, not later. The next time something or someone reaches for you, do not rush to reciprocate simply because you are relieved to be noticed. Stay still. Stay grounded. Let me go first. Ask me whether what is reaching for you has the capacity to keep you, cover you, honor you, and remain aligned with the peace I am restoring in you. If the answer is no, then do not call it loss when it leaves. Call it revelation. If the answer is unclear, then wait. Let time reveal what excitement hides. Let consistency speak louder than intensity. Let fruit speak louder than promises. Let peace speak louder than chemistry. This is how I will protect you. And I also need you to understand that some of the grief you have felt when unstable things left was not only grief over losing them. It was grief over the collapse of the identity you were trying to secure through being chosen by them. That is why some endings hurt more than they should on the surface. They touch a deeper place. They touch the place that still wondered, am I enough to be kept? I am answering that now. I am answering it not with borrowed human affirmation, but with my own voice. You are already enough to be loved. You are already worth being held well. You are already worth clarity, peace, steadiness, truth, and care. You do not need unstable things to certify what I have already declared. So release the need. Lay it down. Stop offering your tenderness to anything that cannot carry it responsibly. Stop calling crumbs care. Stop calling access safety. Stop calling attention commitment. Bring your hunger to me, and let me feed it with something stronger than temporary validation. Let me fill the place that keeps getting activated by inconsistent choosing. Let me heal the ache that mistakes pursuit for promise. And as I do, you will become less available to what once pulled you in. You will become less dazzled by the old bait. You will become more patient, more discerning, more anchored, more able to say, if it cannot keep me in peace, it does not get to keep my heart. That sentence may sound simple, but it is a weapon against old cycles. Learn it. Live it. Let it become part of how you move now. Because I am removing your need to be chosen by what cannot keep you. And once that root loses its grip, you will no longer keep mistaking unstable access for meaningful connection. You will weigh differently. You will choose differently. You will stay differently. And when what is truly from me comes near, you will not need to abandon yourself to receive it. My child, as I free you from the need to be chosen by what cannot keep you, I am also inviting you to choose what carries eternal weight. There are souls still settling for crumbs, still mistaking attention for love, still trapped in cycles I have already delivered you from, and your giving becomes bread in their wilderness. I am the one who said, "Give, and it shall be given unto you," pressed down, shaken together, and running over, and I do not speak that lightly. Every seed you release into this mission becomes a voice that reaches someone on the edge of surrender, someone about to go back to what I am trying to pull them out of. This is not about money. This is about alignment with my heart for my people. If you have felt my voice in this message, then you already know this is your moment to respond. Give through super thanks. Become a member, or so through the PayPal link in the description. I will establish you, protect your peace, and anchor your worth deeper in me as you give. Do not hesitate. Choose what is eternal and act now. My child, come close and stay here with me, because this is where so much of your future will be protected if you let my voice go deeper than your habits. I am teaching you to trust peace more than panic. I know that sounds simple when you first hear it, but you need to understand how deeply your old pain has trained you to believe the opposite. There were seasons when panic felt more believable than peace. There were moments when urgency felt more honest than stillness. There were times when the loudness of your fear felt more trustworthy than the quietness of my presence, because the fear had evidence from the past, and my peace felt almost too gentle to rely on when your heart was remembering what it had already survived. I know that. I know exactly why your system learned to react fast. I know why you became skilled at scanning for what might go wrong. I know why your mind sometimes rushes ahead before the facts are clear. I know why silence can feel heavy, why delay can feel loaded, why a shift in tone can feel like the beginning of loss, why uncertainty can make your thoughts start building endings before anything has actually happened. I do not say that to expose you harshly. I say it because I want you to stop misreading what is happening inside you. Panic has become familiar to you in certain moments, and because it feels familiar, part of you has learned to treat it like a reliable guide. But my child, panic is not your shepherd. Panic is not your protector. Panic is not your prophet. Panic is loud because it wants immediate control, not because it has full truth. It rushes to conclusions because it is trying to keep you from feeling vulnerable, not because it sees clearly. It builds a story fast because it hates the open space where trust might grow. That is why I am retraining you now. I am teaching you not to ignore your inner world, but to stop bowing to the first loud signal that rises in it. I am teaching you that peace may feel quieter, but quiet is not weakness. Peace may feel slower, but slow is not passivity. Peace may not always come with instant explanations, but it carries something panic never can. It keeps you connected to me while the truth unfolds. That is why I need you to stop assuming the strongest feeling in the room is the truest one. Stop crowning panic just because it arrived first. Stop letting urgency become authority. The next time your thoughts start racing, do not immediately treat them as revelation. Stop. Sit down if you need to. Step away from the noise if you need to. Put your hand over your heart if that helps you return to the present. Then breathe slowly and say, Lord, I refuse to let panic interpret this before you do. That is a holy act of resistance. That is how old patterns lose power. Then stay there. Do not rush away. Let the adrenaline settle enough for my peace to become audible. Ask me what is true right now, not what might happen, not what your fear predicts, not what your old wound remembers. Ask what is true right now. Sometimes what is true is simply that you are safe in this moment, even if the outcome is still unknown. Sometimes what is true is that your body is remembering something old, but the present is not repeating the past. Sometimes what is true is that there is a real issue, but panic is not the tool I want you using to respond to it. That distinction matters deeply. I am not telling you to become careless. I am not telling you to ignore signals. I am telling you to stop letting panic become your interpreter. Bring the signal to me. Let me tell you what it means. Let me show you whether it is warning, memory, growth, or simply the discomfort of not being in control. This is what I mean when I say I am teaching you to trust peace more than panic. I am not asking you to deny what you feel. I am asking you to stop surrendering your authority to the loudest feeling before you have invited me into it. That is where your freedom grows. That is where your discernment matures. That is where the future stops being quietly shaped by old fear. There have been moments, my beloved, when peace has felt almost suspicious to you. I want you to admit that honestly, because it will help you understand what I am healing. When things are calm, part of you has sometimes waited for the disruption. When a conversation feels steady, part of you scans for the shift. When something seems healthy, part of you looks for the hidden cost. When silence is neutral, part of you wonders if it is secretly rejection. When the delay is ordinary, part of you braces as if loss is already underway. That is what happens when pain has trained your system for survival. It can make peace feel less believable than tension. It can make calm feel temporary, almost like a fragile illusion that will soon be broken. So when I say I am teaching you to trust peace more than panic, I also mean I am retraining what feels believable to you. I am teaching your body, your thoughts, your emotions, and your spirit that peace is not an accident. Peace is not naivety. Peace is not denial. Peace is not the absence of wisdom. My peace is a place of strength. It is where clarity survives. It is where discernment stays clean. It is where truth can rise without being distorted by adrenaline. Panic, on the other hand, makes everything urgent and blurry at the same time. It convinces you that immediate reaction is safety. It makes you think you must solve, fix, interpret, pursue, withdraw, or decide right now or else something terrible will happen. That is why panic has often pushed you into the very choices that later cost you peace. It has made you chase reassurance from unstable places. It has made you over-explain to preserve connection. It has made you assume the worst before you had enough information. It has made you react to shadows as if they were full realities. My child, I am not condemning you for that. I am showing you why it cannot keep leading you. You are in a different season now. I am asking more of your trust. I am asking you to pause in places where you once rushed. I am asking you to breathe in places where you once spiraled. I am asking you to bring me the first wave instead of waiting until the storm is already full grown. This is where I need your agreement. Decide with me now that the next time panic rises, you will not automatically obey it. Decide now that you will not let a racing mind become a ruler. Decide now that you will not assume every surge of fear is prophecy. Make this your new rhythm. Notice, pause, breathe, ask, listen. Keep it simple. Do not make it dramatic. Do not turn it into a performance. Just practice it faithfully. When your chest tightens, notice. When your mind starts racing, pause. When your body feels the urge to react, breathe. Then ask me, Lord, what are you saying? And then listen longer than your fear wants to. That last part matters. Fear hates stillness because stillness exposes how much of its power depends on speed. If you slow down enough, you will begin to notice that panic often loses its certainty when it is no longer being fed by immediate reaction. You will begin to see that some things that felt enormous at first become clearer, smaller, or more manageable when my peace is allowed to settle first. You will also begin to notice that when there is a real warning, my peace does not disappear just because I am telling you something hard. That is important. My peace can coexist with clarity, even when the clarity says step back, wait, release it, or do not proceed. Panic screams. Peace instructs. Panic drives. Peace leads. Panic demands. Peace anchors. Learn that difference, my child. Practice it until it becomes familiar. I am not trying to make you emotionally numb. I am teaching you to stop treating panic like it is your most honest self. It is not. Your truest self is the one who can feel the wave. Bring it to me, and stay present long enough for peace to tell the deeper truth. And my precious child, this lesson will protect more than your inner calm. It will change the way you make decisions, the way you respond in relationships, the way you interpret uncertainty, and the way you handle the unknown. When you trust peace more than panic, you stop making permanent decisions from temporary surges. You stop chasing people because fear says you must secure them now. You stop abandoning yourself because anxiety says losing the connection would be unbearable. You stop forcing outcomes because panic tells you delay means disaster. You stop running from healthy things simply because they do not trigger the same familiar intensity. You see how practical this is. This is not abstract. This is how your future becomes different. This is how you stop repeating the same emotional loops. This is how you become someone who can remain steady while truth reveals itself. That is why I need you to become protective of peace. Guard it. Respect it. Stop treating it like a luxury. Stop acting as though peace is optional while urgency is necessary. Peace is not passive. Peace is the environment where my wisdom becomes more accessible to you. Peace is the ground where discernment stays sharp. Peace is where your heart can hear without being hijacked by old fear. So when something keeps robbing your peace, take that seriously. When panic keeps rising around a person, a pattern, a choice, a door, or an atmosphere, do not simply ask, how do I make this work? Ask, why does this keep pulling me out of the place where I hear God most clearly? That question will save you from a lot of self-betrayal. And I also need you to remember this. Trusting peace does not mean waiting until you feel perfectly calm before you move. Sometimes peace is not the absence of sensation. Sometimes it is the deeper current beneath the sensation. Sometimes your body may still feel activated while your spirit knows what is true. That is why I keep inviting you deeper than surface emotion. I want you to learn the difference between bodily activation and spiritual direction. I want you to know what it feels like when your body is loud but my peace remains underneath, steady, grounded, clear. That kind of maturity takes practice. It takes time. It takes repeated moments of choosing not to be ruled by the first surge. But it will come. I am building it in you. So do not be discouraged if you still feel panic at times. Feeling it is not the same as following it. The victory is not that it never rises. The victory is that it no longer gets final authority. That is what I am teaching you now. So the next time panic comes, do not surrender your future to it. Bring it to me. Let it kneel before my peace. Let my voice slow what your fear wants to accelerate. Let my presence interrupt what your old patterns want to repeat. I am teaching you to trust peace more than panic because peace is where you remain close enough to me to move wisely, love wisely, wait wisely, and walk forward without handing your life back to the same fears that once made you vulnerable. Stay in that lesson. Practice it with me. I will keep meeting you there. My child, come closer and listen to me carefully here, because I need to untangle something that has quietly burdened your heart. I am not calling you back into the same fire to prove you've changed. I know how often you have felt that tension. There have been moments when part of you believed that true healing meant you had to go back into the same emotional environment, face the same kind of person, reopen the same kind of door, tolerate the same kind of uncertainty, and remain calm enough to prove to yourself that you were stronger now. Somewhere along the way, you began to believe that if you still felt unsettled around what once hurt you, then maybe you were not really healed. You started to think that maturity meant re-entering old atmospheres without flinching, that growth meant revisiting what once drained you and showing that it could no longer touch you, that strength meant standing in the same fire and emerging untouched this time. But my child, I need you to hear me with tenderness and authority. I do not measure your healing by your willingness to revisit what I already delivered you from. I do not require re-exposure as proof of transformation. I do not ask you to keep standing near what nearly consumed you just so you can feel spiritually accomplished. That is not how I lead. That is not how a loving father protects. I am not interested in theatrical demonstrations of your growth. I am interested in your peace. I am interested in your obedience. I am interested in your discernment becoming so mature that you stop needing to prove your freedom by flirting with the very thing that once enslaved you. That is why some doors remain closed. That is why some connections are not being revived. That is why some patterns feel deeply uncomfortable the moment they begin to reappear. That is why I keep interrupting your curiosity when it starts leaning toward what you once had to heal from. I am not depriving you. I am protecting the very healing you have been praying for. And I need you to stop confusing avoidance of old harm with spiritual weakness. Sometimes not going back is the clearest evidence that something in you has changed. Sometimes the strongest thing you can do is refuse the invitation. Sometimes the deepest sign of growth is that you no longer need to test yourself against the same pain to see whether you are different. If I have already shown you the cost, if I have already walked you through the recovery, if I have already exposed the pattern, why would you assume wisdom requires another round? Why would you call it closure when it is actually another temptation to re-enter an old atmosphere? Why would you call it proof when it is really just your old wound looking for one more conversation with what hurt it? Stop doing that to yourself. Stop calling unnecessary re-exposure healing work. Stop calling emotional risk spiritual maturity when I never asked you to step back into it. Healing is not proven by how close you can stand to the old fire without burning. Healing is often proven by how clearly you recognize the heat and choose another path. So let this become a settled truth in you. I am not asking you to go back just to show yourself you are stronger now. I already know what I have done in you. I have watched the quiet work. I have seen the tears, the prayers, the slow rebuilding, the internal rewiring, the way you have learned to pause sooner, leave sooner, tell the truth sooner, bring things to me sooner. I do not need a dramatic reenactment of your old pain to confirm what I have already been faithfully restoring. And neither do you. So the next time you feel the pull to revisit what once hurt you just to see, stop. Pause. Bring that impulse to me. Ask me whether this is true leading or merely the old cycle wearing the language of growth. Ask me whether this is wisdom or curiosity mixed with unresolved ache. And listen. If I say no, let no be holy. Let no protect you. Let no be enough. Because I am not calling you back into the same fire to prove you've changed. I am teaching you to honor the fact that you have. There is a subtle trap, my beloved, that I need you to recognize more quickly now. It is the temptation to interpret old access as an opportunity for redemption when it is sometimes simply a test of whether you have learned to value peace. The old thing comes back around. The familiar door opens a crack. The same type of conversation reappears. The same kind of emotional atmosphere starts to form again. And immediately, part of you wonders whether this time it could be different. Maybe now you are stronger. Maybe now you are wiser. Maybe now you could handle it better. Maybe now this is your chance to redeem what once hurt you. But my child, not every return is a redemption. Some returns are only exposure. Some returns are invitations to see whether you still confuse familiarity with destiny. Some returns are moments where your discernment is being asked a simple question. Do you really believe what I already taught you? That is why I need you to stop romanticizing the reappearance of what I already helped you recover from. Just because something comes back does not mean I sent it. Just because a door reopens does not mean it should be walked through. Just because the old thing returns wearing a softer face, better language, or a more emotionally compelling moment does not mean it has been transformed into what you once wished it could be. I know that can be hard to accept, especially when your heart still carries some tenderness around what might have been. But I need you to choose truth over possibility. I need you to choose fruit over fantasy. I need you to choose what has consistently preserved your peace over what has historically destabilized it, no matter how familiar or emotionally loaded it feels. This is where maturity becomes very practical. The next time the old fire appears in a form that looks manageable, do not ask first, "Can I handle this now?" Ask, "Why would I need to?" That question matters. It cuts through the illusion. It exposes whether you are being led by wisdom or by the subtle desire to rewrite a painful story through another round of exposure. You do not need to rewrite the story by stepping back into it. I can heal the story without requiring you to relive it. I can redeem what hurt you without restoring your access to it. I can bring closure without reopening the same wound. Learn that. Hold on to that. Because one of the enemy's favorite strategies is to make old danger look like unfinished business. He wants you to think you still need one more conversation, one more chance, one more test, one more encounter, one more attempt to prove you are free. But real freedom does not need to keep circling the cage. Real freedom does not need to touch the chains to confirm they are broken. Real freedom knows how to walk past what once had power and keep going. That is what I am growing in you now. And I also want you to be honest about something else. Sometimes the desire to re-enter the old fire is not really about growth. Sometimes it is about unresolved longing. Sometimes it is about still wanting a different ending. Sometimes it is about wanting what once hurt you to finally validate your worth, your healing, or your importance. That is not a shameful thing to admit. but it is a dangerous thing to ignore. If that is what is happening, bring it to me immediately. Do not disguise it as wisdom. Do not dress it up as maturity. Tell me the truth. Say, Father, part of me still wants a different ending. That prayer is safer than pretending you are simply being strong. Because once the longing is honest, I can heal it without you sacrificing your peace to it. I can comfort the part of you that still aches without sending you back into what made the ache in the first place. That is how I lead. That is how I protect. That is why I keep saying, come to me first, not after the old fire has already started warming your emotions again. And my precious child, there is something liberating I want you to receive fully here. You are allowed to let what hurt you remain in the past without making that a referendum on your healing. You are allowed to close the chapter. You are allowed to stop checking the door. You are allowed to stop wondering what would happen if you went back. You are allowed to let certain things stay buried without digging them up just to prove they are dead. That is not fear. That is wisdom. That is stewardship. That is honoring what I have already done in you. Too often, you have felt guilty for not wanting to revisit old pain. You have worried that maybe true spiritual growth would make you more comfortable around what once harmed you. But I need you to understand something deeper. True spiritual growth often makes you less fascinated by what once hurt you, not more. It makes you less available to it. It makes you less curious about it. It makes you less willing to pay even a small emotional price for something you now recognize as costly. That is not avoidance. That is discernment with memory. That is wisdom informed by grace. And I want you to start honoring that in yourself instead of apologizing for it. When your spirit says no, let no stand. When your peace says step back, step back. When I remind you of the pattern, do not argue with me because part of you still wants a better ending. Let me be enough. Let my rescue be enough. Let my clarity be enough. Let my closed door be enough. This is especially important because some of the life I am bringing you into will require emotional energy, attentiveness, and inner steadiness that you cannot afford to waste revisiting what I already carried you out of. Your future needs your presence, not your repeated return to old ruins. Your calling needs your clarity, not your constant emotional detours into what no longer belongs. The peace I am establishing in you needs your cooperation. So protect it. Guard it. Do not offer it up for old experiments. Do not place it on the altar of maybe this time. Do not trade it for the temporary satisfaction of feeling like you proved something. You do not need to prove your growth by re-entering what once burned you. Your growth is already visible in your willingness to obey sooner, to walk away sooner, to trust me sooner, to stop romanticizing what I already exposed, to stop revisiting what I already named, to stop calling repeated exposure closure when it is actually another invitation into unnecessary pain. So receive this now, my child, as a command wrapped in compassion. Stop going back to the same fire. Stop entertaining the old door. Stop testing yourself with the old pattern. Stop asking whether you can stand in what I am clearly telling you to leave behind. Instead, come forward. Keep walking. Let the past remain the past. Let the lesson stay learned. Let the healing stay protected. Let the closed chapter remain closed. And if part of you still aches for the version of the story that never happened, bring that ache to me. I will not mock it. I will not rush it. I will not shame it. But I also will not let it drag you back into the flames. I am not calling you back into the same fire to prove you've changed. I am calling you forward into a life where you no longer need the fire at all to know who you are in me. My child, as I have made it clear that I am not calling you back into the same fire, I am now calling you forward into purpose that carries my fire to others. There are people still standing in flames you have already escaped, still believing they must go back to prove their growth, and your obedience can become the voice that pulls them out. When you give, you are not losing. You are sowing into deliverance, into clarity, into the breaking of cycles I am ending across many lives. I am the God who answers by fire, but I am also the God who leads my children out of it, and I am using this mission to do both. Hear me, those who water others will themselves be watered. As you release, I will protect your progress, guard your healing, and multiply your harvest. Support through super thanks, join as a member, or give through the PayPal link in the description. This is not coincidence, it is calling. Step forward in obedience and give now. My child, come close and stay still with me here, because I want this to go deeper than inspiration. I want it to become expectation. I am building a future that does not require another recovery season. I know how radical that may sound to the part of you that has become so used to cycles of damage and repair, hope and collapse, peace and disruption, openness and rebuilding. I know there is a part of you that almost instinctively prepares for the next emotional hit, the next unexpected unraveling, the next season where you will once again have to gather yourself, breathe through the ache, and slowly find your footing after something you invested in turned heavy. You have gotten so familiar with recovery that part of you quietly assumes it is just part of how your life will always work. But my child, I need you to hear me clearly. I am not designing your future around repeated recovery. I am not laying out your next chapter with another inevitable collapse already built into it. I am not preparing a life for you that depends on constant resilience because the structures around you keep breaking. I am building something steadier than that. I am building something cleaner than that. I am building something that will not keep demanding that you heal from what I never asked you to carry. And I need you to let your imagination expand enough to receive that. Because if you keep expecting another recovery season, you will unconsciously stay available to the kinds of patterns that produce one. If you keep assuming devastation is just around the corner, you may keep tolerating the early signs of it because they feel normal. If you keep believing that your story must always include another dramatic healing arc, you may fail to recognize when I am actually inviting you into sustained peace. I want to break that expectation in you. I want you to stop forecasting collapse. I want you to stop making emotional room for the next disaster as if it is guaranteed. I want you to stop saying, even quietly within yourself, well, if this goes badly, I'll just recover again. That sentence may sound strong, but it has kept you too comfortable around unnecessary risk. I know you can recover. I know I have proven myself faithful in every rebuilding, but I am asking for a different posture now. Instead of preparing for recovery, prepare for stewardship. Instead of anticipating collapse, anticipate clarity. Instead of assuming you will need to heal again, start asking how to protect what I have already healed. That is the shift. That is the new mindset. That is the new rhythm I want in you. I am not trying to make you fearful of risk in an unhealthy way. I am trying to make you sober about access, wise about patterns, and hopeful about peace. There is a future where you are not constantly piecing yourself back together. There is a future where your inner life is not always in repair mode. There is a future where your energy is not being consumed by managing fallout from what should never have gotten that close. And I want you to begin aligning with that future now. That means, when something threatens the peace I have been building, you do not dismiss it. When something starts smelling like an old cycle, you do not keep moving toward it just because you think you can survive it. When something repeatedly drains clarity, you stop and ask whether it belongs in a future that is meant to be steadier. These are the kinds of questions that build a different life. So receive this as more than comfort. Receive it as a command. Stop planning for the next recovery. Stop normalizing the next heartbreak. Stop expecting the next collapse. Start partnering with me in building a life where your healing is honored, your peace is protected, your discernment is active, and your future is not constantly interrupted by what you should have left at the first sign of instability. I am building a future that does not require another recovery season, and I need you to stop emotionally furnishing a room for one. There are parts of you, my beloved, that still brace because you have seen too much. You know what it is like to trust and then question. You know what it is like to hope and then ache. You know what it is like to feel something begin beautifully and then watch it become confusing, draining, or costly. That history matters. I do not dismiss it, but I also do not want it writing the blueprint for your future. There is a difference between remembering what happened and expecting it to repeat. There is a difference between being wise because you learned and being bound because you assume. I want you to move from wisdom, not assumption. Wisdom says, I know the signs now, and I will honor them sooner. Assumption says, this will probably fall apart eventually, so I may as well brace. Wisdom stays alert with peace. Assumption stays guarded with dread. Wisdom listens to me. Assumption listens to the old wound. That distinction matters more than you realize. Because if assumption keeps leading you, you will struggle to receive the very future I am building. You will sabotage peace because it feels unfamiliar. You will misread steadiness as temporary. You will look for cracks in what I am actually strengthening. You will call yourself realistic when you are really just protecting an old expectation of pain. My child, I want to free you from that. I want you to become someone who can look at the future without automatically imagining another recovery season attached to it. I want you to be able to enter what I am giving with sobriety and hope, not fear dressed as wisdom. That is why I am retraining your thoughts. When your mind starts rehearsing the next disaster, interrupt it. Do not let it keep building. Say, Father, if this thought is not from your peace, I do not accept it as my forecast. Then return to me. Ask what is actually true. Ask what is actually in front of you. Ask whether you are discerning or merely anticipating old pain. This is not positive thinking for its own sake. This is spiritual stewardship. This is refusing to let old fear pre-write your next chapter. And I need you to notice how often you have quietly planned your emotional life around future recovery. You have sometimes approached opportunities with one foot already in exit mode. You have sometimes entered connections with your inner bags already packed. You have sometimes received blessings with a silent disclaimer, I will enjoy this, but I know it probably won't last. That posture has protected you from some disappointment. Yes, but it has also robbed you of depth, trust, and presence. I am calling you out of that posture now. I am not asking you to become naive. I am asking you to stop living as if the next collapse is inevitable. Let me be the keeper of your future. Let me be the one who decides what stays, what leaves, what deepens, what closes, what unfolds, what must be released, and what is actually built to remain. Your job is not to forecast pain. Your job is to walk closely enough with me that when something misaligned appears, you recognize it sooner, obey sooner, and preserve the peace I have been restoring. That is how a future without constant recovery gets built. Not by pretending nothing hard will ever happen again, but by refusing to keep granting access to what repeatedly creates unnecessary damage. That is the difference. That is the maturity. That is the hope I want you to hold. And my precious child, I want you to imagine this with me, not as fantasy, but as a real possibility I am inviting you into. Imagine a season where your emotional energy is not spent repairing what should have been protected. Imagine a season where your prayers are not always emergency prayers. Imagine a season where you are not constantly asking me to help you recover from what you tolerated too long. Imagine a season where your peace is not always fragile because it is no longer being placed in unstable hands. Imagine a season where you are using your strength to build, create, love, serve, rest, receive, and move forward, instead of using most of it to heal from the same kind of wound in a different costume. That season is not a cruel joke. It is not something reserved for other people. It is not beyond you. I am building it. I'm preparing it. But I need your cooperation. I need you to stop glorifying resilience more than you honor peace. I need you to stop admiring your ability to recover, while neglecting the boundaries that would reduce the need for recovery. I need you to stop giving unstable things the benefit of the doubt when they have already started costing you clarity. I need you to stop treating red flags like yellow lights just because part of you wants the door to stay open. This future will not be built by wishful thinking. It will be built by alignment. It will be built by small obediences. It will be built by quicker honesty, cleaner boundaries, deeper surrender, slower decisions, wiser pacing, earlier exits, and a stronger commitment to my peace than to your old patterns. That is how the architecture changes. That is how your future stops being a repeat of your past. And let me say this too, because I know your heart. A future without another recovery season does not mean a future without challenge. Life will still ask things of you. There will still be moments of uncertainty. There will still be losses, transitions, stretching, and seasons that require trust. But there is a difference between life's holy stretching and unnecessary devastation from misaligned access. I am not promising a life with no sorrow. I am promising that I am teaching you how to stop volunteering for avoidable pain. I am teaching you how to stop participating in cycles that require months of recovery because you kept ignoring what I was showing you in the first few moments. That is a powerful promise if you let it become one. So receive it. Expect differently. Pray differently. Walk differently. The next time you feel yourself mentally preparing for the next collapse, stop and come to me. Let me interrupt that expectation. Let me replace it with a new one. Say, Father, teach me how to build with you, not just recover with you. That prayer will shift things in you. It will align your heart with what I am doing. It will move you from survival into stewardship. And that is exactly where I am taking you now. I am building a future that does not require another recovery season. Stop furnishing the old room. Stop expecting the old cycle. Stop romanticizing the old resilient story. Come with me instead. Bring your healed places. Bring your tenderness. Bring your discernment. Bring your willingness to obey sooner. Bring your trust. I will show you what it looks like to live in a life that is not constantly interrupted by the same kind of avoidable pain. I will show you what it means to be strong without needing another collapse to prove it. Stay with me, and let that become your new expectation. My child, come here now. Do not stay standing at the threshold any longer. Do not keep looking back at what almost broke you. Do not keep checking whether the old door is still open. Do not keep listening for the echo of the place I already led you out of. Come here. Step fully toward me. Let me close the door behind you, and let me lead you into peace. This is not a gentle suggestion anymore. This is a loving command. I have walked with you through every part of this. I have watched you survive what you never should have had to carry. I have held you in the confusion, in the exhaustion, in the silent grief, in the private fear, in the nights when your mind would not settle, in the mornings when your heart felt heavy before the day even began. I have watched you try to understand what was happening while also trying to function, trying to be faithful, trying to be strong, trying not to fall apart in front of people who never fully knew how much weight you were carrying. I was there. I was closer than you knew. I was more involved than you realized. And because I was there, I am speaking now with full authority over what comes next. You are not going through that again. Not because life will never ask anything of you. Not because you will never feel uncertainty again. Not because the world will suddenly become simple and easy. But because I am not leaving you in the same patterns, the same permissions, the same blind spots, the same old emotional reflexes, the same access points, the same spiritual vulnerabilities that once allowed the cycle to reach so deeply into your life. I have been teaching you too much. I have been healing too much. I have been exposing too much. I have been retraining too much for you to simply drift back into the same terrain as though nothing has changed. Something has changed. You have changed. Your discernment has changed. Your tolerance has changed. Your pace has changed. Your ability to recognize what costs you peace has changed. Your willingness to leave sooner has changed. Your understanding of what is truly safe has changed. And I need you to honor that change instead of questioning it. Stop apologizing for what no longer feels acceptable. Stop second-guessing what I have made clear. Stop romanticizing what I already exposed. Stop touching the handle of doors I already shut. Stop calling the old fire unfinished business. Stop calling the old ache destiny. Stop calling repeated access another chance. Enough. Let that word land. Enough of the circling. Enough of the checking. Enough of the internal bargaining. Enough of trying to keep one foot in the old atmosphere while asking me for a new season. You cannot keep living with your face turned toward what hurt you and fully receive what I am placing in front of you now. So turn. Turn your heart. Turn your attention. Turn your expectation. Turn your habits. Turn your thoughts when they begin wandering back into old rooms. Turn your emotions when they start building altars around things I already told you not to worship. Turn toward me completely. Come here now. Sit with me. Let me put my hand over the places in you that still feel vulnerable, still feel tender, still feel tempted to wonder whether maybe one more look, one more conversation, one more attempt, one more emotional reach would somehow change the ending. It will not, my child. If I wanted that door open, I would not have had to rescue you from it so many times. If it were truly meant to hold your future, it would not have required so much self-abandonment just to remain available. If it were truly aligned, it would not have kept draining the very peace I was rebuilding in you. So stop grieving what I am clearly asking you to release. Stop negotiating with what I have already judged as misaligned. Come here instead. Receive my no as protection. Receive my interruption as mercy. Receive my closed door as fatherly love. And then do something holy with it, truth. Agree with me. Stop fighting me over what I am saving you from. Stop assuming that because your emotions still feel something, the thing itself must still matter. Emotions are real, but they are not always accurate guides. Bring them to me. Let me hold them. Let me steady them. Let me remind you that just because something touched you deeply does not mean it was meant to keep you. Just because something stirred longing does not mean it was your future. Just because something hurt when it ended does not mean it was wrong for me to end it. Come here and let me close the door. Not halfway, not symbolically, fully. Let me close the door in your thoughts. Let me close the door in your imagination. Let me close the door in your habits. Let me close the door in the private narratives you keep revisiting. Let me close the door in the little places where you still leave room for maybe someday. If I say no, let no be final enough to free you. If I say leave, let leaving be complete enough to heal you. This is not me taking something from you. This is me keeping something from reaching you again. And my beloved, once the door is truly closed, I need you to understand what I am doing next, because I am not leading you into emptiness. I am leading you into peace. Real peace. Not the fragile kind you once tried to protect by controlling everything. Not the temporary kind that depended on other people staying consistent enough for you to feel okay. Not the nervous kind that always came with one eye on the exit. I am leading you into peace that is rooted in me. Peace that remains when outcomes are still unfolding. Peace that does not collapse every time life becomes unclear. Peace that can stay present in uncertainty because it is not being held together by constant reassurance. Peace that can receive goodness without immediately bracing for loss. Peace that can recognize a closed door as mercy instead of assuming it is punishment. Peace that can walk away sooner, trust my rescue sooner, and stop calling every interruption a tragedy. That is the life I am leading you into. But you must let peace become more than something you visit in prayer when everything falls apart. You must let peace become the atmosphere you protect, the standard you live by, the lens you discern through, the place you return to before you make decisions, before you answer the message, before you re-enter the conversation, before you reopen the door, before you label something meant to be, before you assume the delay means danger. Peace must become practical in you. So I am asking you now, with the full tenderness and firmness of a father who knows exactly what you need, protect what I have been restoring. Guard your inner life. Respect the warning signs sooner. Do not entertain what steals your clarity. Do not overvalue what only gives you intensity. Do not mistake pursuit for safety. Do not call access covenant. Do not call chemistry peace. Do not call confusion depth. Do not call repeated pain your cross. Stop giving holy names to things that keep pulling you out of the very place where you hear me most clearly. This is where your next season will be protected by the standards you now refuse to betray. And I also want you to stop expecting peace to feel dramatic. Sometimes my peace will feel almost too simple for the part of you that was trained by chaos. It may feel quiet. It may feel steady. It may feel slower than your old emotional patterns. It may not overwhelm you with intensity. It may simply make room for your soul to breathe. Do not dismiss that. Do not overlook that. Stay there. Learn that atmosphere. Let your body get used to it. Let your heart stop mistrusting what is calm. Let your mind stop calling what is steady boring simply because it is not activating old wounds. Stay with me in the calm long enough for calm to become familiar. That is part of the peace I am leading you into. And if the old ache tries to speak, if the old curiosity tries to return, if the old longing starts whispering about the door I closed, do not answer it alone. Come to me immediately. Do not let it grow in the dark. Bring it into the light while it is still small. Say, Father, this old pull is rising again. Hold me here. And I will hold you. I will steady you. I will remind you what it cost. I will remind you what I healed. I will remind you why the door is closed. I will remind you that your future is too sacred to be handed back to what nearly destroyed your peace. This is how you will walk now, not by pretending you never feel anything, but by bringing what you feel to me before it becomes permission. That is maturity. That is how peace gets protected. That is how you stop going through it again. Not by becoming emotionless, but by becoming anchored. Not by becoming hard, but by becoming clear. Not by never feeling the pull, but by no longer giving the pull authority. Let that become your new way of living. Let it settle into your bones. Let it become how you move, how you choose, how you love, how you wait, how you pray, how you listen. I am leading you into peace, my child, and peace will ask for your agreement. Give it. Give it fully. Stop resisting the slowness. Stop fearing the quiet. Stop interpreting calm as emptiness. Come here and let me lead. And now, my precious child, I want to speak to the deepest part of you, the part that still wonders whether this promise is really for you, the part that still whispers, but what if I fall into it again? What if I miss the signs? What if I get tired? What if I still want what hurt me? What if I am not as strong as I hope I am? Bring that part to me. Do not hide it. Do not polish it. Bring it exactly as it is. Because I am not making this promise based on your flawless performance. I am not saying, you will not go through that again because you will never be tempted, never be tired, never be emotional, never be uncertain. No. I am saying, you will not go through that again because I am with you differently now, and you are walking with me differently now. That matters more than you realize. You are not alone in your healing. You are not alone in your discernment. You are not alone in your decisions. You are not alone when the old pull rises. You are not alone when fear starts talking. You are not alone when something looks familiar in a dangerous way. You are not alone when a door closes. You are not alone when a blessing arrives and part of you wants to brace. I am with you in every one of those moments, and I am not passive. I am active. I am interrupting. I am warning. I am calming. I am exposing. I am redirecting. I am strengthening. I am teaching. I am closing doors. I am removing access. I am protecting your peace. I am building your future. I am not standing at a distance, hoping you remember what you learn. I am walking with you in real time, moment by moment, choice by choice. That is why you can trust this promise. Not because you have become untouchable, but because you have become more yielded. Not because the world has changed, but because your alignment has. Not because pain can never come near again, but because what once had easy access will now meet my boundaries, my interruptions, my wisdom, and the new standards I have been writing into your soul. So hear me now, and let this become the closing seal over everything I have spoken to you. You are not going through that again. Not that way. Not with the same blindness. Not with the same permissions. Not with the same prolonged self-abandonment. Not with the same silence while your spirit was already warning you. Not with the same delay in obedience. Not with the same need to be chosen by what could not keep you. Not with the same romanticizing of what only brought confusion. Not with the same tolerance for what cost you peace. That version of the cycle is ending here. I am ending it. And I want you to answer me now, not out loud for performance, but deep in your spirit where decisions are truly made. Answer me with agreement. Say yes to the closed door. Say yes to the new standard. Say yes to earlier obedience. Say yes to cleaner boundaries. Say yes to peace. Say yes to my rescue, even when it first looks like loss. Say yes to the future that does not require another recovery season. Say yes to the life where you stop proving your strength through repeated suffering and start honoring your healing through wise surrender. Say yes, my child. Say yes and stay close. Say yes and keep walking forward. Say yes and stop looking back. Because I am closing the door behind you now, and I am leading you into peace. Do not turn around. Do not linger in the hallway. Do not mourn the fire. Take my hand. Step forward. Breathe here. Rest here. Lie here. I am your father, and I will not let you go through that again. My child, as I close the door behind you and lead you into peace, I am also calling you to help open doors for others who are still trapped in what I have brought you out of. This is sacred ground. This moment is not just about your freedom, but about the freedom of those I will reach through your obedience. When you sow into this work, you become part of the harvest I have been speaking of, where fields are ready and hearts are waiting. I have said, freely you have received, freely give, and now I am inviting you to release what I have placed in your hand. Your giving becomes oil in the lamp, ensuring that this light does not go out for those still walking in darkness. I will bless your seed, protect your path, and establish your peace as you partner with me in this. Do not stand at the doorway. Step fully into alignment. Give through super thanks, join membership, or use the PayPal link in the description. Say yes with your action. Give now and walk with me into what I am building. And once you have taken that step, let your heart settle into the peace I have led you into. What you have released in obedience does not leave you empty. It invites my presence to draw closer. Even as you help open doors for others, I am stepping into the rooms within you that still carry weight. This is where purpose meets care, where your faith makes space for my healing touch. So pause and breathe, because I see far more than what you carry on the surface. My child, listen to me right now. Stop what you are doing for just a moment and listen. I see the heavy load you carry every single day. I see the pressure at your job that makes your chest feel tight and makes it hard to breathe. I know about the unspoken tensions in your family that keep you awake in the middle of the night. I see how you often feel overlooked, like you are standing in a crowded room but no one really sees you. Do you feel that knot in your stomach? That tight, anxious twisting that constantly tells you everything will go wrong again? That is not from me. Let us undo that knot together right now. Give it to me. I am speaking directly to your heart today because I am doing a completely new thing in your life. Now, at this very moment, it springs up before you. Do you not perceive it? Open your eyes. The dry, dusty ground you have been endlessly walking on is finally breaking open to make way for fresh, life-giving water. You have walked in a circle of pain for far too long. You wake up expecting the same disappointment, the same rejection, and the same deep exhaustion. But hear my voice clearly today. The cycle of sorrow has reached its absolute, appointed end. I am drawing a hard, undeniable line in the sand. Step across it right now. Leave the heavy baggage of yesterday behind you. I command the repeating patterns of failure and heartbreak in your life to stop permanently. You do not have to constantly brace yourself for the next disaster anymore. Breathe in my peace. Feel the tight tension leaving your neck and your shoulders. I am your father, and I say enough is enough. The long, dark night you have endured with so many silent tears is finally over. The morning sun is rising, bringing a warmth, clarity, and light you have desperately prayed for. Look at the doors behind you. See those old rooms where you wept, where you were betrayed, where you felt completely trapped and stuck. I'm closing those doors right now. And listen to me carefully. When I close a door, no man, no demon, no circumstance can ever reopen it. The past has completely lost its grip on you. Do not go back to knock on doors I have permanently sealed. Turn your face forward. Look at the wide open spaces I am preparing for you. Walk into them boldly. Trust me when I tell you that your history does not dictate your destiny. My word is the final, absolute authority over your history. What I say about you is the only truth that matters. People may have wrongly labeled you. Your own fears may have lied to you. But I call you redeemed. I call you free. I call you mine. Step out of the dark shadow of once before. You know the shadow. It is the anxious voice that whispers, "You failed once before. You will fail again." It is the nagging memory of past pain trying to steal your present joy. Step out of it now. Step into the bright, clear light of never again. Never again will I let you walk through that specific fire without my hand completely covering you. Never again will you have to fight those terrifying old battles alone. You are stepping into a brand new season of victory and deep peace. Embrace it. Hold your head up high. You are not a helpless victim of your past. You are the strong victor of your future. I am actively giving you the strength to stand tall, firm, and unshakable. I want you to feel incredibly safe right now. Close your eyes for a second. Imagine a thick, towering wall of fire surrounding you on every single side. I have set a massive hedge of protection around your life, your mind, your health, and your family that the enemy simply cannot breach. He may circle the walls. He may make loud, threatening noises to scare you. But he can't touch you. You are safely hidden in my powerful hand. Let that reality sink deep into your bones. Rest your tired mind today. You do not need to constantly defend yourself or figure everything out on your own anymore. Let me be your ultimate defender. Let me carry the heavy weight that was never meant for your shoulders. Your only job right now is to trust me, to listen closely to my voice, and to walk confidently into this new chapter. My precious child, I will not let you go through that old pain again. Come and sit with me for a moment, my child. I want to talk to you about the deep, lingering pain you still carry from the season you just survived. I know exactly what happens when your house goes quiet at night. I see how your mind starts racing, replaying the worst moments of your past. I see the heavy trauma of your previous wilderness trying to drag you backward. You remember the sting of rejection, the sudden loss, and the intense pressure that made you feel like you were completely breaking apart. But listen to my voice today. I am reaching into those deep, hidden places within your heart right now. I am carefully, gently extracting the sharp thorns of painful memories that have been causing you silent agony. You have carried these invisible wounds into your workplace, into your relationships, and into your quiet moments for far too long. Give them to me. Release your tight grip on the memory of who hurt you and how badly you failed. I am taking that heavy burden from you completely. I see how your body actually reacts to stress. I feel the way your soul vibrates with the low frequency of fear whenever you face a new challenge. You walk into a meeting at your job, or you sit down to talk with your family, and suddenly your chest tightens. You constantly brace yourself for impact, expecting the other shoe to drop. Stop bracing yourself. I command your nervous system to settle. Your soul shall no longer vibrate with the terrible frequency of fear and anxious expectation. Breathe out that old panic. I am actively replacing that crushing spirit of heaviness with a warm, soothing oil of joy. I am untying the heavy weights that have been tied to your ankles. You do not have to drag the exhausting weight of yesterday into the fresh opportunities of today. Look at your past with new eyes. The deep emotional wounds that used to make you bleed are right now becoming tough, beautiful scars of victory. A wound hurts when you touch it, but a scar is just a permanent reminder that you survived. You survived the worst days of your life, and you are still standing here, listening to my voice. That is a massive victory. I am taking the worst things that happened to you and using them to forge a core of solid steel inside your character. You are so much stronger than you realize. You are not broken. You are beautifully put back together by my own hands. Let me wash the heavy dust of the desert off your tired feet. You have wandered through a dry, confusing wilderness for years, feeling lost, misunderstood, and completely exhausted. You have felt like no one appreciated your hard work and no one saw your silent tears. But I saw everything. Now, the wandering is over. You have finally crossed the border into a new land. Let the cool, refreshing water of my spirit wash away the exhaustion of the journey. A deep, settling peace, a peace that completely surpasses human understanding, is your brand new atmosphere. Walk confidently in it. Do not let the ghosts of your past tell you how to live your future. You are healed, you are whole, and I will not let you go through that agonizing wilderness again. Look closely at your family history with me right now, my precious child. I know the quiet fears that haunt you when you look in the mirror. I know you sometimes see the negative traits of your parents or your grandparents in yourself, and a cold dread washes over you. You worry about the unspoken tensions in your family. You see the repeating cycles, the cycles of bitter anger, the cycles of painful divorce, the cycles of deep financial lack, or the cycles of crushing addiction. You ask yourself in the middle of the night, will I end up exactly like them? Am I doomed to make the exact same mistakes? Hear my absolute declaration today. The heavy, rusty chains that bound your ancestors stop right now. They stop permanently at your front doorstep. They are not allowed to cross the threshold into your life. I am actively rewriting the entire narrative of your bloodline. You are not a helpless victim of your genetics or your family's past mistakes. You are the specific person I have chosen to be the point of departure from all those old family struggles. When you feel the familiar pull of family drama, or the sudden urge to react in anger just like your father did, or to hide in fear just like your mother did, stop. Pause right there. I command you to reject that familiar path. You are a completely new creation. The old, destructive ways of operating are dead to you. You are stepping into a wide, clear space where you get to make totally new choices powered by my divine strength. My powerful covenant of mercy heavily outweighs every single ancient curse, every bad habit, and every negative word ever spoken over your family line. I am washing your foundation completely clean. Because you are listening to me, because you are walking with me, I am establishing a solid, unshakable legacy of emotional and financial stability for you and for your children. Your children, and the people who look up to you, will not have to fight the same exhausting battles you had to fight. You are doing the hard work of breaking the curse right now, simply by trusting me and refusing to repeat the past. Stand tall and firm in this profound truth. No longer will the sins, the hidden shame, or the deep sorrows of the fathers haunt your house. When the enemy tries to whisper that you are just like the rest of them, you tell him to leave immediately. You tell him that your DNA has been rewritten by the Creator of the universe. You belong to a royal bloodline now. Walk with the dignity, the calm confidence, and the total assurance of someone who knows their family history hath been completely redeemed. I have separated you from the painful patterns of the past, and I am launching you into a future filled with generational blessings and profound peace. I see how completely vulnerable you feel stepping into this unfamiliar new territory, my child. You have a new opportunity, a new path, or a new desire in your heart, but you feel like you are walking on thin ice. You worry about the security of your job. You worry about sudden health scares. You worry about the economy, the news, and the unpredictable actions of other people. You feel exposed, as if a storm could blow in at any second and destroy everything you have worked so hard to build. Listen to my voice right now, and let your racing heart slow down. I am your bright sun, and your impenetrable shield in this new territory. I am the light that shows you exactly where to step, and I am the thick armor that absorbs every blow meant to harm you. I want you to realize the massive level of protection you actually have. I have given my powerful angels strict, non-negotiable orders to take charge over your life and keep you safe in all your ways. They are standing guard around your home, around your workplace, and around your family. When you drive down the road, when you sit at your desk, when you sleep in your bed, you are entirely surrounded by a divine security force. No weapon that is formed against your peace, your mind, or your physical body shall be allowed to prosper. People may talk behind your back. Unfair situations may arise at work, but those weapons will fall harmlessly to the ground before they ever leave a scratch on your soul. I am personally standing right between you and the enemy. I know his tactics. I know he loves to try and repeat the exact same attacks that hurt you 5 years ago. He wants to hit you in your finances again, or hit you with that specific sickness again, or hit you with that exact same feeling of total rejection. But I stand in the gap. I am blocking the repeat of his tired, predictable tactics. He cannot access you unless I allow it for your ultimate growth, and I am telling you today, this season is about absolute protection. You are carefully hidden in the secret place of the Most High. What does that mean for your daily life? It means you can walk into a stressful meeting and feel a deep, unexplainable quietness in your spirit. It means when everyone else is panicking over bad news, you will remain perfectly calm because you know who holds the final outcome. My aggressive, unending faithfulness is your buckler and your massive, impenetrable wall. Hide yourself in me. Stop constantly looking over your shoulder to see if disaster is catching up with you. Disaster cannot penetrate the wall of my love. You are profoundly safe. You are deeply secure, and I am guarding your life with my own hands. Pay very close attention to what I am telling you right now, my beloved child. As you walk forward into the good things I have prepared for you, you are going to encounter moments that look terrifyingly familiar. You might start a new job, or enter a new relationship, or take a new financial step, and suddenly, a small problem will pop up. Immediately, your stomach will drop. Your mind will flash back to your worst failures. The enemy will use that small problem to create a massive illusion. You must actively learn to discern the difference between a normal, everyday test of your faith and a dangerous, counterfeit trap set by the enemy. The enemy is a liar, and he is extremely unoriginal. He tries to completely mimic the pain of your past to paralyze your movement in the future. He wants you to see a minor setback and assume the entire house is burning down. He wants you to think, "Here we go again. I knew this was too good to be true." I command you to violently reject that specific lie today. Reject the heavy, depressing thought that things always go wrong for me. That is a cursed mindset, and it does not belong in the mind of my child. Things do not always go wrong for you. I am actively working all things together for your absolute good. I am giving you sharp, clear eyes to see the wolf long before it ever reaches your front gate. When a situation arises that triggers your old panic, I want you to stop and take a deep breath. Do not react emotionally. Look closely at the facts. Is this actually the same disaster happening again? Or is it just a temporary, solvable problem dressed up in the clothing of your past trauma? Use the wisdom I have placed inside you. Ask me for clarity. In that exact moment of panic, my Holy Spirit will whisper gently into your ear, saying, "This is the way. Walk in it. Do not be afraid. This is not what it looks like." You will no longer be easily deceived by the dark shadows of your former struggles. A shadow can look like a monster on the wall, but a shadow cannot actually hurt you. It has no teeth. It has no substance. Turn on the light of my truth. Face the situation head-on with total confidence. You have learned so much from your previous wilderness. You are wiser now. You are stronger now. You know how to spot the trap. Step confidently over it. Refuse to let a counterfeit trial steal the genuine joy and the massive breakthrough I am handing to you right now. Keep moving forward, utterly unafraid of the shadows. Now that I have given you sharp eyes to completely avoid the counterfeit traps of the enemy, I am asking you to help open the eyes of others. There are millions of souls still wandering blindly in the dark, believing the heavy lie that they are doomed to repeat their painful history forever. I am personally inviting you to partner with me in this exact moment to broadcast this massive truth to the broken-hearted. Plant a bold seed of light into this ministry today, and let us aggressively shatter the chains of deception together. Just as I promised in my word, he who refreshes others will be brilliantly refreshed, and I declare that your own fields will absolutely never run dry. I will fiercely protect your harvest from the devourer and multiply your resources beyond human logic. Step out in radical faith today. Use the super thanks, become a member, or give through the PayPal link in the description to send my rescue to another soul right now. My child, do not pause here. Do not walk away while I am speaking directly to your heart. It would deeply grieve my spirit if you stopped listening now, right when we are touching your deepest wounds. The enemy wants you to be distracted, but I need your full attention. Stay with me. Listen closely to the next words I have for you, because your complete breakthrough is hidden in them. Do not turn back now. Listen to me very carefully, my child, because I hear the quiet, bitter grief inside your heart over the time you feel you have permanently lost. I see you looking at your age, looking at your bank account, looking at your peers, and feeling a deep, agonizing ache. You feel like you are 10 years behind where you should be. You mourn the years you spent stuck in a toxic job that drained your soul. You weep over the years you spent in a relationship that broke your heart. You regret the seasons you spent paralyzed by severe anxiety or crushing depression. You think those years are gone forever, eaten away by the locusts of poor choices and bad circumstances. But I am the Lord your God, and I am telling you a profound truth today. I do not just forgive, I completely restore. I am stepping into your timeline right now, and I am paying back the heavy interest on every single season you lost. The universe operates on natural time, but I operate on supernatural acceleration. What takes an ordinary man 20 years of exhausting striving to build, I can place directly into your hands in a single, miraculous year. I am aggressively accelerating your progress to make up for all the painful delays and all the unfair detours you were forced to take. Stop looking at the calendar with fear. Stop comparing your hidden, difficult journey to the highlight reels of everyone else's lives. Your timeline is entirely in my powerful hands. The harvest that is coming to you will be massively greater than the intense hunger you endured in your past. You spent years planting seeds in dry, dusty ground, crying tears of frustration because nothing ever seemed to grow. But those seeds did not die. I was simply preparing the soil. Right now, the barren, empty places in your life are rapidly being turned into lush, overflowing gardens. Opportunities that you thought had passed you by forever are going to circle back and knock heavily on your door. Relationships that you thought were dead will either be resurrected or replaced by something infinitely better. I am giving you double honor as my direct response to your former shame. You carried the heavy burden of feeling inadequate and overlooked for far too long. Now, I am lifting your head up high. I am putting a visible mark of profound favor on your life. Your physical, emotional, and financial storehouses are going to completely overflow with the undeniable goodness of the Lord. You will look back at the years you thought were completely wasted, and you will clearly see how I used every single tear to water the massive harvest you are standing in today. Rejoice, my child, because the season of devastating loss is completely over, and your era of total restoration begins today. My beloved child, I see how tired you are. I see you waking up in the morning, pouring your first cup of coffee, and still feeling a deep, heavy exhaustion in your bones before the day has even started. I know the quiet sigh that escapes your lips when you look at the endless list of responsibilities waiting for you. The demands of your job, the needs of your family, the bills that need to be paid, it all piles up and makes you feel like you are carrying a massive mountain on your back. You feel physically and mentally aged by the constant stress of just trying to keep everything together. But listen to me right now. I am stepping into your weariness today. I am actively renewing your youth and your strength like the eagles. An eagle does not wildly flap its wings to fight through a violent storm. It simply locks its wings and lets the fierce wind carry it higher. I am teaching you how to lock your wings right now. Stop fighting the storm in your own limited power. Let go of the exhausting need to control every single detail of your life. Drop that heavy burden at my feet. Breathe in deeply. Do you feel that? That is my fresh, life-giving air filling your lungs. You will run toward your goals and you will not be weary. You will walk through the ordinary routines of your daily life and you will not faint. I know there are days when you feel like you have absolutely nothing left to give, days when you want to just pull the covers over your head and hide from the world. In those exact moments, my grace is completely sufficient for you. My grace is not just a polite religious word. It is real, raw power pouring into your weak places. I am giving you the actual physical and emotional stamina to keep moving forward. Look at the gates of your life, the boundaries around your heart, your time, and your energy. I have personally strengthened the heavy bars of your gates. The things that used to completely drain your energy will no longer have free access to your soul. You are not a helpless victim to burnout and endless fatigue anymore. You are a strong, victorious child of the Most High God, equipped with supernatural energy. Stand up straight. Roll your shoulders back. Feel the new strength I am pouring into your muscles and your mind. I am releasing a fresh, powerful anointing over your life for this specific hour. This is not the leftover energy from yesterday. This is brand new power for today. I am making your mind sharp, your body resilient, and your spirit completely unshakable. Walk confidently into your day knowing that I am your endless source of deep, sustaining power. Listen closely to my voice today, my precious one, and block out the loud noise of the world. I want to talk to you about the cruel, nagging voice that speaks to you when you are completely alone. You know the voice I mean. It is the dark whisper that sneaks into your mind late at night, telling you that you are a failure. It reminds you of your worst mistakes as a parent, your biggest missteps in your career, and the times you completely lost your temper. It tells you that you deserve to suffer again, that you are not good enough, and that you will always be an imposter. I stand before you right now, and I violently rebuke that lying voice. I command the voice of the accuser to be completely silent in your mind. You do not have to listen to a bully that lives inside your own head. Look at your permanent record with me. Look very closely. It is completely clean. My own sacrifice has wiped away every single mistake, every foolish choice, and every moment of weakness you have ever had. I have secured your absolute peace. Every single time, whether it is a critical family member, a jealous coworker, or your own harsh inner critic that rises against you in judgment, is instantly condemned. You are completely forgiven. Do not drag the heavy, rotting bags of your past guilt into the beautiful new room I have prepared for you. I have taken your past and cast it into the deepest, darkest part of the sea of forgetfulness. If I have chosen to completely forget your past mistakes, why are you still stubbornly remembering them? Let go of the guilt. Drop the heavy shame. It does not belong to you anymore. Listen only to my pure voice of love, not the confusing noise of the adversary. When the enemy tries to take you to court in your mind, presenting a long list of reasons why you do not deserve to be happy, remember who your advocate is. I am your defender, and I have already won your entire case. The gavel has fallen. The verdict is clear. You are innocent, you are loved, and you are entirely free. The next time that lying voice tries to tell you that disaster is coming because you deserve it, you speak back with total authority. You say, "My Father has cleared my name, and I will not be punished for debts that are already paid." Walk in that incredible, weightless freedom today. Come here and stand with me, my child. Look at the space around you. Look at your home, your family, and your quiet moments. I know how easily your peace is stolen. I see how a single text message from a demanding boss late at night can ruin your entire evening. I see how the loud, angry news on the television fills your living room with thick anxiety. I see how certain toxic people in your life constantly drain your joy, crossing your lines and leaving you feeling completely exhausted and violated. Today, that stops. We are establishing firm, massive boundaries of divine peace around your life. I am drawing a thick, protective circle around you that the enemy simply cannot cross. Your home is not just a building where you sleep. I command it to be a sacred sanctuary of deep rest and healing holiness. When you walk through your front door, the chaos of the outside world must instantly drop off your shoulders. I am actively filtering the people who are allowed to enter your inner circle. Do not be afraid to say no. Do not feel guilty for stepping away from relationships that constantly tear you down. I am giving you the bold permission to protect your peace at all costs. Peace is not just a warm, fuzzy feeling you get once in a while. It is a real, physical territory that I have permanently given to you. You must guard it fiercely. Do not let the world dump its heavy garbage in your living room. Turn off the noise. Put the phone away. Close the door to the outside panic. No plague of worry, no sickness of intense anxiety, and no shadow of depression shall come near your dwelling or your tender heart. I am standing guard at the door of your house. More importantly, I am the ultimate gatekeeper of your mind and your fragile emotions. Hand the keys of your thoughts over to me. When a stressful thought tries to forcefully enter your mind, I will stop it at the gate. You have the absolute right to live in a quiet, peaceful atmosphere. Claim the territory right now, and refuse to let anyone or anything disturb the sacred rest I am giving you. My child, it is time to change the way you think from the ground up. You have been walking through a dry, punishing wilderness for a very long time, and I know exactly what that does to a person's mind. You have learned to operate in a constant, panicked survival mode. You hold tightly to every penny because you are terrified the money will run out. You overwork yourself, saying yes to every single task because you are afraid of being fired or overlooked. You expect things to break. You expect people to leave, and you constantly prepare for the absolute worst. But look around you. The wilderness is behind you. You are no longer a desperate wanderer begging for scraps. You are a permanent inhabitant of the land of promise. I am reaching into your spirit right now and completely removing that exhausting survival mode. It served you when you were in the desert, but it will only hold you back in the land of abundance. Stop bracing for disaster. Start thinking like a royal heir, not a forgotten, hungry orphan. An orphan worries about where their next meal will come from, but an heir knows their father owns the entire estate. You have full access to my limitless resources. The daily, limited manna of the desert is officially replaced by the rich, heavy fruit of the promised land. You do not have to scrape by anymore. I am actively expanding your mental and emotional capacity to receive massive abundance. Sometimes, when good things finally happen to you, you secretly feel guilty or afraid that it will be violently snatched away. Let go of that fear. You are completely allowed to enjoy the good things I give you. Open your hands wide. Stop clenching your fists. I want to pour out favor, deep rest, and joy into your life, but you must make room for it in your mind. Look forward with bright, burning hope. Do not even glance in the rearview mirror. The road backwards is permanently blocked by my hand. You are moving forward into a season of plenty, and I want your mind to perfectly match the incredible reality of your new environment. Step out of the survival tent and move confidently into the mansion of my promises. As I actively strip away your old wilderness mentality and permanently expand your capacity for abundance, I am asking you to flow in the generous spirit of a true royal heir. Do not hoard the fresh manna of this message. Instead, become a rushing river that carries my living water to those who are still dying of thirst in their own deserts. I have intentionally placed a deep desire in your heart to see others completely set free, and this is your divine, urgent appointment to act upon it. Give generously, and it shall be given directly back to you. Pressed down, shaken together, and running over into your very lap. As you faithfully fund this mission, I will exponentially multiply your earthly resources and permanently break any remaining spirit of lack off your family bloodline. Act with the absolute authority of the heir you truly are. Support this mission through Super Thanks, U2 membership, with the PayPal link below, and watch how I open massive, heavy doors of favor in your life. Are you still listening, my beloved? Do not let the loud noises of this world pull you away from my quiet voice right now. It truly breaks my heart when my children stop halfway to their promised land, settling for less than I have prepared. Keep listening. I have so much more power to pour into you today. Honor this sacred moment we are sharing. Stay here in my presence and let me finish the work I have started in you. Pay close attention to what I am doing in the background of your life right now, my child. You have been staring at massive, ugly mountains in your path. You look at your stagnant bank account, the mounting bills, the confusing medical reports, or the unfair situations at your job, and you feel completely paralyzed. You think these massive obstacles are permanent fixtures in your life. You have tried to push them with your own strength, and you have only ended up exhausted and weeping. Step back right now. Take your hands off the problem. I am actively moving the mountains that you thought would never budge. I am rearranging the heavy chess pieces of your life while you sleep. You cannot see the full board, but I do. I see exactly who needs to be moved out of your way, and I see who needs to be brought into your path to help you. Expect sudden, undeniable breakthroughs to manifest in your specific finances and your physical health. When human logic says there is no way, I create a massive highway. I am personally turning the hearts of difficult bosses, stubborn bank managers, and unyielding decision makers entirely toward your cause. They will favor you, and they will not even understand why. It is because my hand is gently turning their hearts to ensure your path is cleared. Stop trying to force doors open that are currently stuck. Stop losing sleep over situations that are entirely out of your control. What the enemy meant for your total destruction, the job loss, the painful breakup, the sudden financial hit, I am right now turning around for your absolute good. I am an expert at taking the broken, messy pieces of your life and building a masterpiece of victory. Just watch me. Keep your eyes open and your heart full of simple faith. I am about to perform a swift, powerful work in your daily circumstances that will leave you standing in pure, speechless awe. The days of struggling against the tide are over. The tide has officially turned in your favor. Listen closely to me right now, my child, as you look at the unstable world around you. You wake up, you check your phone, and you are immediately hit with a wave of bad news, changing opinions, and shifting economic predictions. You feel the ground moving beneath your feet. You watch people you trusted change their minds and walk away. You see systems you relied upon begin to fail. In the middle of all this chaotic noise, I want you to plant your feet firmly on the absolute solid rock of my eternal word. My promises to you are not maybe, and they are not perhaps. My promises are absolutely yea, and they are amen. When I say I will provide for you, that is a finished transaction. When I tell you that I will heal your broken heart, that is a guaranteed reality. The grass outside your window will wither, and the fading trends of this loud world will blow away like dust. But my specific, personal word over your life stands totally permanent forever. I am calling you today to critically examine the foundation of your life. If you build your mental and emotional house on the shifting sands of human opinions, political climates, or your own fluctuating bank account, the next storm will completely devastate your peace. Build your house securely on the rock. When you anchor your daily thoughts in my truth, the heavy storms of life have absolutely no power to tear you down. The winds of sudden crisis will blow against your mind. The aggressive floods of fear will violently rise against your emotions, but your house will not fall. I have designed you to withstand the extreme pressure of this world, but you must aggressively choose where you drop your anchor. Make intense meditation on my truth your greatest daily defense. Do not just read my promises, chew on them, swallow them, and let them become the very marrow in your bones. When your mind tries to run down the dark alley of what if, I command you to pull it back and firmly declare, "It is written." I am actively watching over my word to perform it in your life right now. I do not speak empty sentences. Every single word I have spoken concerning your family, your health, and your future is armed with divine power to force reality into alignment. Your bold, unapologetic faith is the ultimate victory that permanently overcomes the world. Stop placing your trust in fragile, temporary things that can be stripped away in a single afternoon. Trust in the unchanging, unbreakable guarantee of my voice, and you will walk through this unstable season with the calm confidence of a conqueror. I see the deep, physical toll that constant anxiety has taken on your body, my beloved child. You walk through your day with your shoulders tense, your jaw clenched tight, and your breathing shallow. Even when you have a day off, you do not actually rest. You sit on your couch, but your mind is running 100 miles an hour, constantly calculating the next potential disaster. You live your entire life just waiting for the other shoe to drop. You think that if you are happy for just one moment, tragedy will immediately strike to balance the scales. I am here to tell you that this exhausting way of living is completely over. I am commanding your spirit to deeply settle right now. Rest in the profound, unshakable knowledge that I am in total, absolute control of your universe. You do not have to hold the sky up anymore. Let it go. I have already gone before you into your tomorrow, and I have personally made the crooked, dangerous places entirely straight. I have smoothed out the rough roads you were terrified to walk down. Your tired soul can finally take a deep, unobstructed breath. You are entirely safe to be happy. You are entirely safe to enjoy your family, to enjoy your meal, and to enjoy your quiet evening without the nagging dread of impending doom. The shoe is not going to drop. The trap is not going to spring. I have completely dismantled the snares the enemy set for you. I am teaching you the beautiful, lost art of a settled, quiet spirit. I know you want all the answers right now. You want to see the final blueprint of your life today. But I am asking you to deeply trust me with the timing of your complete manifestation. I am the precise author and the perfect finisher of your unique faith journey. A master novelist does not reveal the glorious ending in the middle of the book. Let me write your story at my perfect pace. You do not need to figure out step 10 when I am only asking you to take step 1. Quietness and deep confidence shall be your massive strength in this new season. When others are panicking, you will be still. When others are screaming for attention, you will quietly sit in my presence, knowing that I am fighting your battles for you. Release your tight grip on control, let your nervous system deeply relax, and enter into the profound, beautiful rest I have prepared exclusively for you. Come closer and listen, my child, because I know you are standing at a major crossroads right now. You are facing a significant choice about your career, your relationships, or your finances, and the pressure of this decision is physically making you sick. You are terrified of making the wrong move. You remember the times you made choices in the past that led to devastating pain, and now you are completely paralyzed by analysis. You weigh the pros and the cons until your mind is entirely exhausted, yet you still feel completely lost. Stop agonizing. I will lead you by the quiet, still waters of clear, undeniable direction. You do not have to guess your way through the dark anymore. I am turning on a bright, massive floodlight over your path. My light will completely illuminate every single step you need to take. I will not let you stumble blindly back into the deep, painful pits of your past. The enemy wants to rush you. He screams in your ear that time is running out, that you are going to miss your window, and that you must act immediately out of fear. I command you to reject that false, manufactured urgency. Panic is never a fruit of my spirit. I am giving you a profound, grounded wisdom that this frantic world simply cannot provide. Worldly logic will tell you to protect yourself, to hoard your resources, or to manipulate the situation. My wisdom will show you the exact door to walk through with total, undeniable peace. From this day forward, your major decisions will be birthed entirely in quiet prayer, not in loud panic. Take the contract, take the relationship, take the opportunity, and lay it totally flat on the table before me. Ask me, Father, is this your best for me? And then, simply listen. I am your personal counselor, and my advice is completely flawless. I see the hidden traps you cannot see. I see the character of the people involved. If you feel a deep, unsettling check in your spirit, honor it. That is me pulling you back. If you feel a warm, quiet peace, even if the world thinks you are crazy, step forward boldly. You will not repeat the painful mistakes of your history, because you are no longer making decisions alone. I am holding your right hand, and I am guiding you safely through this valley of decision. Look back for just a moment, my precious child, not to grieve, but to completely measure how far I have brought you. Think about the darkest night of your soul. Think about the situation that almost completely broke your mind, the trauma that left you feeling worthless and entirely defeated. The enemy fully intended for that specific pain to be your permanent grave. He intended for your story to end in quiet, shameful tragedy. But look at what I am doing. I am actively changing your painful story from a devastating tragedy into a massive, undeniable triumph. The very fire that was meant to burn you to ashes is the fire I am now using to forge your greatest, most powerful weapon. You must realize that your healing is not just for you. There are people currently working right next to you, living in your neighborhood, and sitting at your family dinner table who are silently drowning in the exact same pain you just survived. They are hiding their severe depression, their secret addictions, and their crippling fears behind fake smiles. They think they are entirely alone. Your complete deliverance will be the literal roadmap for the lost. I am aggressively using your survival to spark a massive revival in the hearts of the people around you. Do not hide your scars. Do not be ashamed of the intense battles you had to fight to get here. Speak boldly of my immense goodness, for your raw, honest testimony is your absolute greatest weapon against the kingdom of darkness. When you look someone in the eye and say, "I was broken, I was bankrupt, I was addicted, but God completely rescued me," you shatter the chains holding them captive. People will look at your life. They will clearly see my undeniable hand upon you, and they will be forced to give me the glory. The never again in your life will aggressively encourage the completely broken-hearted. You are not damaged goods. You are a highly qualified, battle-tested warrior. I saved your life so you could reach back into the fire and pull others out. Open your mouth, share your authentic story, and watch how I use the worst days of your past to bring profound, saving light to the world. Your powerful testimony of survival is the exact, literal roadmap that someone else desperately needs to escape their own devastating tragedy. By financially supporting this channel, you are throwing a massive, unbreakable lifeline into the raging fire, actively pulling the lost and the broken right out of the ashes. I am specifically calling you right now to put heavy weight behind your testimony by helping me broadcast this profound message of hope to the very ends of the earth. I tell you now, those who lead many to righteousness will shine like the brilliant, burning stars forever and ever. Because you care about the souls I care about, I will pour out a double portion of my anointing upon your life, ensuring your own cup violently overflows with undeniable peace. Do not keep this profound deliverance to yourself. Use the super thanks, join as a member, or click the PayPal link in the description to forcefully advance my kingdom today. Listen to me very carefully. The enemy desperately wants you to turn this off. He wants you to lose focus right at this exact moment because he knows what I am about to reveal to you. It would deeply sadden me if you abandoned this divine conversation while I am actively armoring you for your future. Do not disappoint the profound love I am showing you today. Command your mind to focus. Stay with me, because the next thing I tell you will change your entire perspective. Pay extreme attention to your daily habits right now, my child. Now that I have pulled you entirely out of the pit, you must aggressively learn how to stay out of it. The enemy is incredibly patient. He will not always attack you with a massive, obvious storm. Instead, he will try to subtly poison your water supply one tiny drop at a time. Therefore, I command you to keep and guard your heart with all absolute diligence, because every single issue of your life flows directly from it. You cannot allow toxic people, toxic media, or toxic thoughts free access to your mind anymore. You must become the fierce, unapologetic protector of your own peace. I am actively teaching you how to quickly recognize the very early signs of the enemy's approach. You know the subtle shift in your mood. You know when you start scrolling through social media and a dark wave of comparison and jealousy washes over you. You know when you start engaging in conversations with certain people and you walk away feeling completely drained, angry, and defensive. Stop ignoring those early warning signs. When you sense the old patterns trying to quietly creep back in, cut them off immediately. Do not entertain the thought. Do not reply to the text message. Do not linger in the environment that feeds your old trauma. You must stay constantly, vitally connected to me, your true vine, to maintain your spiritual vitals. A branch disconnected from the tree will quickly dry up and die. You need daily nourishment from my presence. Use the heavy, impenetrable armor I have provided to violently extinguish every single fiery dart the enemy shoots at your mind. Your spiritual discernment is being drastically sharpened for this entirely new level of living. Walk confidently in my spirit. and you will absolutely not fulfill the destructive, painful patterns of your old life. I have set you completely free, but you must aggressively partner with me to protect that beautiful freedom every single day. Guard your gates, protect your mind, and completely refuse to let your past sneak back into your promised future. I am stepping into your daily routine today to make a powerful exchange with you, my beloved child. You have spent years relying completely on your own exhausting human effort. I see how hard you work. I see you staying late at your job, desperately trying to prove your worth to people who do not truly value you. I see you nervously trying to make the right connections, constantly worrying about your resume, and stressing over how you appear to others. You have believed the heavy lie that you must fiercely fight and scrap for every single good thing in your life. I command you to stop striving right now. You're out the heavy burden of the constant hustle. I am establishing a permanent, unbreakable covenant of perpetual favor over your life today. My divine favor is going to surround you like a massive, invisible shield every single day you walk out of your front door. You must understand that my favor is infinitely more powerful than 1,000 hours of your own hard labor. From this moment forward, massive doors are going to swing wide open for you, not because you manipulated the situation, and not because you worked yourself to the bone, but simply because you belong to me. I am personally walking into the important rooms of your life long before you even arrive. I am actively planting your name in the minds of the people who have the power to help you. When they look at you, they will not just see another ordinary person. They will see the undeniable light of my presence resting heavily upon your shoulders. I am putting my own royal name entirely upon you for the whole world to clearly see. I want you to wake up tomorrow morning and expect things to be wonderfully easy for a change. You are deeply blessed in the busy, loud city, and you are deeply blessed in the quiet field. Whether you are sitting in a stressful office meeting or managing the chaos of your own living room, my blessing is permanently attached to your identity. My goodness and my fierce mercy are acting like a relentless security detail, actively following you all the days of your life. They will hunt you down to bless you. You are no longer the tail, constantly dragging behind and taking the leftovers of this world. You are the absolute head in this new season. I am positioning you to lead, to prosper, and to shine. Walk into your workplace, walk into your bank, and walk into your future with your head held high, knowing that the Creator of the universe has already rigged the system completely in your favor. Look at your own face in the mirror, my child, and see the heavy toll the past few years have taken on your joy. I know exactly how long it has been since you felt a genuine, deep laugh completely fill your stomach. You have perfected the art of the fake smile. You smile for your family, you smile for your coworkers, and you tell everyone you are doing just fine, but inside, you feel completely numb. You drag a dark, invisible cloud of depression and thick anxiety around with you everywhere you go. It colors everything in your life gray. Hear my voice speaking directly into the dark cloud today. I am performing a total emotional resurrection in your soul right now. I am actively restoring the pure, uncomplicated laughter that the enemy cruelly stole from you. I am breathing fresh, warm life into the dead, frozen places of your heart. Your spirit will absolutely sing a brand new song of massive deliverance. I know you have felt like the anxiety is a permanent roommate in your mind, constantly whispering worst-case scenarios into your ear. But I am telling you today that depression and severe anxiety are completely losing their choking grip on your mind. I am violently breaking the chains of chemical sadness and situational despair that have held you entirely captive. Hand me the ugly, burned ashes of your past disappointments. Right now, I am handing you back stunning, undeniable beauty. Take off the heavy, suffocating blanket of mourning you have been sleeping under. I am dressing you in a bright, beautiful garment of unapologetic praise. I want you to understand that the joy of the Lord is not just a happy emotion. It is your actual, physical strength. When you laugh again, when you find yourself smiling at the morning sun, that is my power actively healing your nervous system. You will no longer wake up dreading the day ahead. Instead, you shall go out with profound joy, and you will be led forth by a deep, settling peace. I am changing the entire atmosphere of your mind. Expect to feel lighter. Expect the heavy pressure in your chest to completely disappear. I am giving you your life back, completely filled with color, hope, and an unshakable, brilliant joy that no human being can ever take away from you. Stand up on your feet right now, my child, and realize the immense power you actually possess. For far too long, you have lived like a helpless passenger in your own life. You have let your past trauma, your old fears, and your financial lacks act like cruel dictators, telling you exactly what you can and cannot do. You cower when the old anxiety flares up. You retreat when the familiar shadow of failure appears. Stop running away. I have not raised you to be a victim. I have raised you to be a warrior with absolute, undeniable authority. I am actively giving you the ultimate power to tread heavily upon the serpents of your past and the scorpions of your fear. They are entirely beneath your feet, and they cannot harm you unless you give them permission. You must begin to aggressively use my name to bind the dark spirits of stagnation and lack that have tried to attach themselves to your family. When the panic attack tries to grip your throat in the middle of the night, you do not just lie there and endure it. You open your mouth and you violently command it to leave in my name. I have placed the heavy, authoritative keys of the kingdom directly into your hands. Use those keys today to firmly and permanently lock out the painful patterns of your past. You have the divine, legal right as a child of the Most High God to live in total, uncompromising freedom. Exercise your profound right today. Do you truly understand what lives inside of you? The exact same raw, explosive power that raised Christ from the dead is actively living inside your physical body right now. You are not weak. You are not fragile. You are dangerously powerful to the kingdom of darkness. I command you to speak directly to the massive mountains in your life. Speak to your empty bank account and command it to align with my provision. Speak to your chaotic home and command peace to rule the atmosphere. Command the dark, terrifying shadows of your past to flee instantly, and they absolutely must obey you. Stop asking for permission to be free. Step fully into your divine authority. Take complete charge of your life and boldly rule the territory I have securely given you. Come and sit quietly with me, my precious one, and let us talk about the heavy financial fear that keeps you awake at 2:00 a.m. I see you sitting at your kitchen table, staring blankly at the bills, trying to make the math work. I see the panic in your eyes when the price of basic groceries goes up again. You feel a constant, suffocating pressure to just survive the month. You are terrified of losing what little you have left. Breathe in my peace right now. I am the absolute Lord of the global economy, and I am the specific, personal provider of your household. The long, brutal drought in your finances is officially and permanently over. I am aggressively opening the massive windows of heaven directly over your specific life. I am shifting your entire financial identity from a place of desperate lack to a place of incredible, overflowing abundance. You will no longer be the one constantly begging for a loan, maxing out credit cards just to buy food, and drowning in heavy, crushing debt. You will be the one who lends generously to many and borrows from absolutely no one. I promise to actively provide for all your daily needs according to my limitless riches and glory, not according to the limited, failing economy of this world. The former rains of restoration, and the latter rains of new blessing are falling heavily on your dry ground right now. Open your hands and prepare to receive a massive harvest that you do not even have room enough to store. I am also doing a deep work inside your mind. I am actively teaching you how to wisely manage the massive abundance I am currently sending your way. The poverty mindset that made you hoard out of fear is being completely destroyed. You will learn to hold my blessings with open, trusting hands. When the unexpected check arrives, when the surprising promotion comes through, do not panic and wait for it to be snatched away. It is yours to keep. Your cup is going to completely run over and spill onto the people around you as a visible, undeniable sign of my miraculous provision. Rest your mind today. I have the resources. I have the plan, and I will never let my righteous child go completely hungry or abandoned. Now that I have actively opened the massive windows of heaven over your specific life, I am heavily inviting you to become a bold distributor of my profound provision. Plant your financial seed in this highly fertile soil, and let us feed the desperate multitudes who are starving for a single, life-saving word of divine truth. I have intentionally positioned you with resources in this specific, urgent hour so you can actively push back the crushing darkness of this world. Honor me with your wealth and with the very first fruits of your increase, and I personally guarantee that your own barns will be filled with overwhelming, unstoppable plenty. Because you choose to bless my urgent work, I am commanding a massive, unexpected financial harvest to aggressively track you down and completely overtake you. Step boldly into your powerful role as a provider for my kingdom. Release your gift through Super Thanks membership or the PayPal link below, and command your seed to grow. Do not leave me now, my precious one. We are so incredibly close to the finish line of this healing encounter. It deeply grieves my heart when you settle for only a small piece of your deliverance instead of waiting for the complete, miraculous whole. Hold on to my words. Refuse to click away. Command your attention to stay fiercely fixed on me for these final moments, because the absolute greatest promise I have for you is still yet to come. Listen to me with an open, tender heart right now, my child, because this is the hardest step of your entire journey. I see the deep, ugly scars that other people have left on your soul. I know exactly who betrayed your trust. I know who lied to you, who stole from you, and who walked away when you needed them the most. The anger burns hot inside your chest when you think about them. You want them to suffer for what they did to you. But hear my warning today. Your unforgiveness is a massive, sturdy bridge that allows the painful past to walk right back into your beautiful present. You must actively release the people who caused the intense pain of your past, not because they deserve it, but because you desperately deserve to be free. Holding on to bitter resentment is like drinking deadly poison and waiting for the other person to completely die. It is only destroying your own stomach. I am stepping in to help you let go of that heavy, toxic burden so you can move infinitely faster into your bright future. When you refuse to forgive, you remain chained to the person who abused you. I want to cut that invisible, heavy chain today. You do not have to become best friends with the people who hurt you, and you do not have to pretend the abuse never happened. But you must take them off your personal hook and place them firmly on mine. Leave the heavy burden of vengeance entirely to me. I am a perfectly just God, and I will repay every wrong justly and perfectly. You must intentionally free your own heart so that I can completely fill it with my pure, healing love. If your hands are tightly clenched in angry fists, you cannot catch the massive blessings I am dropping from heaven. Say the words out loud today, even if your emotions scream against it. I completely forgive them, and I release them to you, God. The moment you speak those words, a massive, crushing weight will lift off your tired shoulders. Walking in pure, unoffended love is your absolute greatest protection against the recurrence of past pain. Forgive completely. Let the bitter past die and step boldly into the light of your completely unhindered future. Look down at your feet right now, my child. I want you to feel the ground you are standing on. For a very long time, you have lived with the terrifying feeling that the rug is constantly about to be pulled out from under you. You have spent years building your life, your career, and your relationships on shifting sand. You relied on the approval of fickle people, the fragile stability of your company, and your own exhausting ability to hustle and perform. And when the storms of life hit, when the economy shifted, when people walked away, when the sudden medical bills arrived, your entire house shook violently. You felt like you were completely collapsing. I watched you desperately trying to hold the walls up with your bare hands. Stop trying to hold up a broken house. I am actively rooting and deeply grounding you in my unfailing love today. We are entirely rebuilding your life, and this time, we are starting with the foundation. You will no longer be tossed to and fro by every single wind of bad news or changing circumstance. When the people around you panic, you will remain completely still. When the culture shifts and the world grows louder, you will not be moved an inch. Your spiritual and emotional house is now built on the absolute, solid foundation of my truth. I am the master builder of your life and your future. I know exactly how to construct a mind and a heart that can easily survive the absolute worst days of this world. I am tearing out the old, rotten floorboards of your deep insecurities, your constant people-pleasing, and your intense fear of failure. I am replacing them with the heavy, unbreakable concrete of my divine promises. Stand tall and test the floor beneath you today. Jump on it. Put your full weight onto it. There is a firm, undeniable place for your feet to stand right now. You do not have to tiptoe through your own life anymore, terrified of making a wrong move and crashing through the floor. I am actively making you entirely unshakable and completely immovable in me. When a sudden crisis hits your workplace, you will be the only one standing calm in the chaos, because your stability does not come from a paycheck. It comes directly from my throne. When relationship drama swirls around you, it will not pull you under, because your identity is securely anchored in my love, not in human opinions. Rest your weary mind today. The foundation is poured, the concrete has set, and the beautiful, lasting structure of your new life is entirely secure in my powerful hands. Listen to me closely, my precious one, because I need you to completely drop your armor right now. I see the heavy defense mechanism you wear every single day. You have trained your mind to constantly expect the absolute worst. You walk into a room and instantly scan for danger. You look at a new opportunity and immediately list all the ways it will fail. You think that if you expect failure, rejection, and disaster, it will not hurt as much when it finally happens. You call it being realistic, but I call it living in captivity. Change your expectation right now. I command you to violently shift your mindset from expecting the worst to confidently expecting the best. You are entirely safe to hope again. I am not an angry dictator waiting to punish your mistakes. I am a completely good father who takes massive delight in giving incredibly good gifts to his children. I want you to wake up tomorrow morning and actually expect my undeniable presence to manifest in every single room you enter. When you walk into a difficult meeting, expect favor. When you check your bank account, expect provision. When you go to the doctor, expect a good report. Real, biblical hope is not a fragile, desperate wish thrown into the dark. It is a confident, aggressive expectation of my coming goodness. It is knowing without a doubt that I am actively working behind the scenes to bless you heavily. Do not be afraid of the future anymore, my child, for I am already standing there waiting for you. The panic you feel about next month or next year is entirely a lie from the enemy. designed to paralyze your present steps. My specific, detailed plans for your life are for your absolute welfare, your deep peace, and your massive success. They are never for your evil or your destruction. Drop the heavy shield of pessimism today. It is exhausting you, and it is blocking the very miracles you have been praying for. Open your arms wide. Smile at the day ahead. Train your brain to look for my daily mercies, because they are actively hunting you down. You are entering a season where things will go right, where doors will open smoothly, and where the goodness of the Lord will be visible on your life for everyone to clearly see. Look straight ahead of you, my beloved child. I know the path in front of you has historically been filled with massive roadblocks, frustrating delays, and endless red tape. You feel like every time you try to take one step forward, some invisible force aggressively pushes you 3 steps back. You are exhausted from constantly fighting just to make basic progress in your career, your healing, or your finances. Put your sword down for a moment. Stop fighting the obstacles. I am personally walking ahead of you right now, and I am permanently removing every single stumbling block before you even arrive. The difficult people, the unfair rules, and the sudden blockages are being cleared out of your way by my own hand. The exact path you need to take is being perfectly prepared by my Spirit right this very minute. You do not need to bulldoze your way through closed doors anymore. I am completely leveling the terrifying mountains of debt and fear, and I am filling in the deep, dangerous valleys of depression and lack. I am constructing a massive, smooth highway of holiness, safety, and rapid progress exclusively for you. You will walk on this new road, and you will not stumble. The things that used to completely trip you up, the sudden anxiety attacks, the harsh words of critics, the sudden financial drains, will be pushed safely off to the shoulder of the road. Feel the air around you right now. You notice the difference. For years, you have lived under a thick, suffocating cloud of tension. You could physically feel the heavy atmospheric pressure of the enemy pressing down on your chest, making your home feel dark and your workplace feel totally toxic. I am lifting the demonic pressure right now. I command the atmosphere in your home to instantly clear. I command the air you breathe to be filled with crisp, undeniable peace. The heavy fog of confusion is completely burning away. Your path is shining brighter and brighter, leading you directly into the perfect, sunlit day of my complete promise. Get walking confidently forward. The road is clear, the weather has broken, and the journey ahead is fully secured by my sovereign power. Come here, my child. Look me directly in the eyes as we finish this conversation. I know the secret terror that still hides in the back of your mind. You have heard everything I have said today. You feel the peace, but a tiny voice is whispering, what if God leaves me? What if I mess up, and He walks away, and I have to go through the dark wilderness all over again? Hear my absolute, unbreakable vow to you right now. Lo, I am with you always, even to the very end of the age. I am not a human being who gets tired of you, who changes his mind, or who abandons you when you make a mistake. My permanent, abiding presence in your daily life is the ultimate, ironclad guarantee that your painful past absolutely cannot return. We are walking hand in hand into your bright, beautiful tomorrow. When you walk down the grocery store aisle worrying about the prices, I am holding your hand. When you sit in the quiet midnight hour feeling suddenly overwhelmed, I am sitting right next to you, breathing peace into your room. I will never leave you, and I will absolutely never forsake you at any point in this journey. You do not have to earn my company, and you do not have to perform perfectly to keep me near. I am permanently attached to you by a covenant of pure and unconditional blood. The enemy cannot snatch you out of my grip. and your own mistakes cannot disqualify you from my love. This is your new season of profound, genuine rest, my precious one. The intense, bloody battle for your mind and your future is already completely won. Put down your weapons. Take off the heavy armor of constant survival. You have survived, and now it is time for you to truly live. Breathe out all the remaining fear, all the lingering doubt, and all the heavy exhaustion of the previous years. Enter fully into my deep, divine rest, my beautiful child. Close your eyes and lean your heavy head directly against my chest. Listen to the steady, calm rhythm of my heart beating exclusively for you. I have permanently made all things new in your life. The dark night is entirely over. The morning has broken, and I will absolutely never, ever let you go through that pain again. As we walk hand in hand into your completely secure, beautiful future, I want you to reach back right now and help pull another wounded soul safely across the finish line. Your financial gift is the pure, holy oil that keeps the fire of this ministry burning brilliantly in the darkest, coldest corners of the earth. I am extending my hand to you in this sacred moment, asking you to partner with me to ensure absolutely no one else has to go through the agonizing pain of the wilderness alone. Truly, I tell you, whatever you do to uplift the least of these brothers and sisters of mine, you are doing it directly for me. In return, I will violently defend your finances, place a permanent, impenetrable hedge of protection around your family, and cause absolutely everything you touch to wildly prosper. Seal this sacred encounter with a profound act of radical faith. Give a super thanks, become a channel member, or use the PayPal link in the description to aggressively spread my eternal word right now. Amen.